been growing without all them enhancements. Learn quick, out here making connections. Everybody don't do what they be saying. That's why my team's who I spend day to day with. It's on us when I send the payments. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing it stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag, I run away quickly. Trying to get rich, but they dying to 50. Ducking these trends, I don't like what I'm seeing. They jumped the fence, but the grass wasn't greener. No one warned them about the wolves and hyenas. Eggshells, gotta watch how you treat us. Shaking hands a part of doing business. Make a promise, make sure that you deliver. Good business, only way it continues. Money matters and you need the credentials. Coming straight up, barbers gon' bring issues. My time is prices, don't like to misuse it. And it only you can't half do it. If we started, we gon' see it through. Can't just talk, you gotta show the proof. My interest is making these money moves. Not running my mouth and not coming through. Let's run up the bag, I need something new. I'm high on the bills, I want them blue. You want me to work, I'ma need it soon. They all in the way, we gon' need some room. Locked in and focused like missiles on cruise. Going non-stop, I got something to prove. Playing with us, you gon' definitely lose. Never slow down, cause I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing it stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag, I'll run away quickly. I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing it stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag, I'll run away quickly. Crunch time, my time's not to be wasted. Win, lose, draw, I am not playing. In my lane, out the way is the safest. Be consistent, there's no credit in phases. Keep on working, we gon' see where it takes us. Life's a marathon, why aren't you pacing? All that sprinting, taking too many breaks is compromising your position, advancing. Real life, you get so many chances. You can't lead trying to find out the answers. We've been moving around without GPS's. We've been growing without all them enhancements. Learn quick, out here making connections. Everybody don't do what they be saying. That's why my team's who I spend day to day with. It's on us when I send the payments. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing it stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag, I'll run away quickly. Trying to get rich, but they dying to 50. Ducking these trends, I don't like what I'm seeing. They jumped the fence, but the grass wasn't greener. No one warned them about the wolves and hyenas. Eggshells, gotta watch how you treat us. Shaking hands a part of doing business. Make a promise, make sure that you deliver. Good business, only way it continues. Money matters and you need the credentials. Coming straight up, barbers gon' bring issues. My time is prices, don't like to misuse it. And it only you can't half do it. If we started, we gon' see it through. Can't just talk, you gotta show the proof. My interest is making these money moves. Not running my mouth and not coming through. Let's run up the bag, I need something new. I'm high on the bills, I want them blue. You want me to work, I'ma need it soon. They all in the way, we gon' need some room. Locked in and focused like missiles on cruise. Going non-stop, I got something to prove. Playing with us, you gon' definitely lose. Never slow down, cause I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing it stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag, I'll run away quickly. I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing it stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag, I'll run away quickly. Crunch time, my time's not to be wasted. Win, lose, draw, I am not playing. In my lane, out the way is the safest. Be consistent, there's no credit in phases. Keep on working, we gon' see where it takes us. Life's a marathon, why aren't you pacing? All that sprinting, taking too many breaks is compromising in your position advancing. Real life, you get so many chances. You can't leave trying to find out the answers. We've been moving around without GPSs. We've been growing without all them enhancements. Learn quick, out here making connections. Everybody don't do what they be saying. That's why my team's who I spend day to day with. It's on us when I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing, it's stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag, I'll run away quickly. Trying to get rich, but they dying to 50. Ducking these trends, I don't like what I'm seeing. They jumped the fence, but the grass wasn't greener. No one warned them about the wolves and hyenas. Eggshells, gotta watch how you treat us. Shaking hands, a part of doing business. Make a promise, make sure that you deliver.
Most humble, respectful way possible. But as I'm here with good man Matthew Dixon, Icy Matt.
Yes, you
How you
already
doing,
know
brother?
what it is. I appreciate you guys for always tuning in to the show, and also we show love to Berto. He taught me a lot, and it's always laughs and always fun with him. Obviously, because we're both Raider fans. For the people who always tune in, we are one Raider down. There's still two in the building, and we had to replace one Raider with a Cowboy.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, unfortunately.
Sorry
but,
about that, y'all.
I guess. Welcome, I guess.
Hey, opposites attract, right?
Yeah.
Negative and a positive equals a negative, I think. I don't know. I'm a journalism major. But nonetheless, again, thank you guys
Somewhat.
for joining us here on Going for Two. You're listening either on youtube.com/22West Media or here on 88.1 FM, HD3, KKJZ, Long Beach, Los Angeles, and 22westmedia.com. And again, for those of you who don't know, we have an app as well. Go ahead and download the 22West Radio app on Google Play or the Apple App Store. You can check us out every Friday from 12 to 4 p.m. for the 22West Sports Block. And, of course, all these sports broadcasts that are brought to you by here on 22West Sports, 22West Radio, and Long Beach State Athletics. We got plenty to talk about, man.
Yeah, a lot to talk about. The season winding down, and we headed towards the playoffs. Bittersweet when it comes to it because you're like, oh, the season's about to end. But, you know, when playoffs start, that's when a lot of crazy things start to happen.
No, most definitely, especially with Week 18, which for me personally, I'm still adjusting that there's an 18th week in the regular season. That's still kind of weird to me. And I think it's weird to everybody else, especially the teams that already clinched for the playoffs, because now we have all these top teams who are already fought for their seeding, basically. They already fought for the seeds that they want. And we got a lot of bench players playing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I don't know if it really works out for Week 18. I think it's still a waste of a week. And, I mean, I guess it gives an extra week for some teams to play and, you know, some seeds to kind of work themselves out.
Yeah, it's more money,
yeah,
really.
that as well.
It's more money.
An extra week, extra revenue. That's how it works from the TV deals, from the stadium deals and whatnot. But, I mean, if we could talk about it, heading into Week 18, there's a new playoff picture. I know you and Beto talked about the playoff picture about a month ago.
Yeah.
It was the last time we had
It's been a
Going
while.
for
A lot's
Two.
changed. Yeah.
So let's go ahead and review it.
Yeah.
Tori, if you can, pull up the NFL.com playoff picture on one of these sites. But, yeah, dude, I mean, there's a lot of fun games to look forward to here in Week 18 that have to do with this playoff picture. You know, pretty much I like to say majority of the NFC is kind of figured out, and the AFC is just seedings, right?
Yeah.
And one of those big games for seedings have to do with the AFC. And the one that everyone has the one circled on the calendar, especially for Sunday Night Football, is Bills at Dolphins.
Bills at Dolphins.
That's a fun one. And then tomorrow night as well. No Thursday Night Football, which for me, I'm like, what do I do on a Thursday night? Well, I watched some, Long Beach State basketball.
Yeah, yeah.
But
they did get the win.
we have 2 games on Saturday.
Mhm.
So we have the Colts taking on the Texans, and I believe the Ravens at Steelers. Right? Yes, that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that Ravens Steeler game, that game is
It's just a freebie.
like a lot of just like, replacements because Lamar's out and OBJ's out and all those players are out because they already got it locked up. So
Yeah,
it's just
they're already
like,
locked up the first seed. They'll get home field advantage throughout
Yeah.
the playoffs, and a first round bye in the AFC section of the playoffs. So go ahead and take a break. Good for them, but this is just another game for
Yeah.
people to just bet on, just to bet on. I
Yeah.
mean, Tyler Huntley will take in the place of Lamar Jackson. I think that's kind of fun to see.
Look,
Former
he had a
UCLA
perfect
quarterback.
passer rating. He was 1 for 1.
1 for 1. Yeah, this season came in and closed out a quarter or
You
so.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 1 for 1. He is the most perfect quarterback this season. That's funny. So those are 2 games that definitely keep an eye on. But if we look at the playoff picture right here, Ravens with the 1 seed, Dolphins or Miami and Buffalo fighting for that number 2 seed, which to me is crazy. The fact that Buffalo with the year that they've had, very shaky year.
Very shaky. Like them and the Chiefs too, but the Bills for sure. Like it started off real rough, and then it started off I think they won the first 2 maybe, or they split the first 2. But yeah, it was real rough early, and then it was like, they're gonna make it, and then they pulled it together. I think they won like 4 out of the last 5 maybe, something like that. And then they're competing for the division really. Whoever wins this game gets the division and gets the number 2 seed because they have if the Bills
break that
win,
tiebreaker.
they have
Yeah.
that tiebreaker with the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So
exactly that.
like they can put themselves in a great position, really.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say, I mean, from all perspectives of the NFL, whether you're just an avid fan or you play fantasy football or you gamble on such, you know what I mean? It's been a very, very weird year this season. I mean, there's teams that we don't expect to be on this playoff picture. Teams like the Browns
Yes.
as a 5 seed. They're
Yes.
going to be locked up, and they're going to take a break as well this weekend against the Bengals. The
Shout out
Bengals.
to Joe Cool, man.
Yeah, exactly that. Joe Flacco, which we'll get into him a little bit more later on in the show tonight or today. Yeah, I don't see Cincinnati here, which is shocking to me. I know Joe Burrow is out, but
That's the
despite
big
that,
reason. Yeah.
that squad is way too talented for them not to be even, in this playoff picture.
Yeah, despite Joe Burrow really getting injured, they were struggling too. Honestly, it's been weird. It's been a weird year. Like this had exciting moments, but like when it comes to like the teams we expect to get to always get in, we have a lot of new teams that are coming up and positioning themselves into positions where they are winners.
Yeah.
Like the Browns, and you have the Colts in the mix, and the Texans out of all people.
Yeah.
Like you're like, the Texans is the new coach, a rookie quarterback, and you're like, okay, they're just going
New wide receivers,
new wide receivers. You're just like, they're just gonna play. They're gonna see where they're at, and then probably rebuild for the time to come. But they're like, nah, we gonna win. If we win this game, we in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, all right, like, okay, like, I like this. I like the energy.
Yeah, Houston have definitely been one of those teams that have been very fun to watch, and they've played all their games in the early window.
Yeah.
So they're the first team you see every Sunday morning. And for once this weekend, they're going to get C.J. Stroud's going to get a chance to be on the national spotlight. As he has a primetime game on Saturday afternoon against the Colts, and it's basically a win-and-in game for both of those teams.
Yeah.
You win, you're in the playoffs. You lose, you're out.
C.J. Stroud is a dog. He's been showing that all year. Even like he got injured a couple games and came back and they're still in it. Like that was one of the teams I wanted to rate. That's one of the players I wanted the Raiders to trade up for so bad. And like there was always reports that the management at the time, it was Dave Ziegler, he was going to do it, and then Josh McDaniels was like, nah. And it was just like, I didn't even want to know that because like CJ Stroud was somebody I wanted in a Rangers uniform. And yeah, like that team, like that head coach also is defense heavy. I feel like one thing you could always bank on is defense, regardless of how the offense is doing. Like I feel like defense travels, and defense is like that's an old school mindset. But like I think like a lot of these teams in the league right now have good defenses. Like the Ravens, you have the Browns,
Yeah.
the Bills. Like they got good defenses. The Colts, like these are teams that like the defenses are very good, and then you have the offense is very shaky, but like they're in the mix always.
Yeah, no, most definitely. And you look at the, as we're talking about the Colts and the Texans matchup, there's 3 teams that are tied for first in the AFC South, which looks very similar to what's going on in the NFC South.
Yeah.
Same
Yes.
thing.
What's up in the South? What they
Something
cooking
going
in the
on
South, man?
down south. But Jacksonville, Indianapolis, and Houston all are 9-7. But Jacksonville, they have the tiebreaker between the Colts and the Texans from the season. So basically, they beat Tennessee this weekend. They get the 4th seed. But Tennessee is not a team, despite them
Right.
being, what,
5'11".
5'11" or such. They are a spoiler. Mike Vrabel, head coach of the Titans, he wants to play spoiler in this
He
division.
had an interview a couple days ago, and he was just very fiery and just very energetic. Despite them being 5'11", we're not gonna sit up here and lose this game just because we're out of the playoffs. We're gonna compete.
Yeah, of course.
And that's all you want.
No, and they can. I mean, this division has been tight knit the whole season. I mean, I'd say Tennessee, if they had just had their quarterback situation a little bit figured out a bit, maybe, just maybe, they'll be a little bit more impactful in this division. But no matter who they play, whether it's Will Levis, Ryan Tannehill, or anybody else, that person that stepped up under center for the Titans has been, you could tell they're trying their best. And it all comes out of King Henry.
Yeah,
it's
trying
to run in.
Henry and the defense.
Yeah, the defense been fantastic as well. But that team as well, along with the Texans, I think this whole division, for me personally, it's been one of the most funnest divisions to watch this season. And Tennessee, I mean, I'm a big Derrick Henry guy, ever since his rookie year. So that guy has just been so much fun to watch. But Tori, if you can, just scroll down for me a bit so we can look at that in the hunt section a little bit more. There you go. As you guys can see, the Jaguars, the Colts, and the Texans, those 3 teams in the division of the AFC South have a chance to make it to the playoffs. Only 2 can be in, one as a wild card and one as a division winner. So I'm painting a picture for you right here, Matthew. Jaguars lose. The winner of the Colts and the Texans wins the division and gets a home game for the first round of the playoffs. That to me is crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like AFC
You can't
South
make that
is
stuff up.
crazy. Like these teams are like you said, they're so tight, and like what's crazy, they're so young. Like Texans, Jaguars, they got young quarterbacks. The Colts, they don't really have the quarterback of the future. They have Gardner Minshew, but they're like young teams that are like all right, like these are going to be their first taste at playoffs. I mean, Jaguars made it last year, so it's like they're going to improve and just have that like they're like okay, like let's go.
Yeah,
it's very fun in that regard.
Yeah, very fun stuff going on, and the thing that is crazy about it is Colts, Texans on Saturday. Whoever wins that one is going to keep an eye on what's going on with Jaguars and Titans on Sunday. So in order to find out exactly where they're going to end up as a seed for the playoffs, they have to wait till Sunday morning and watch that game. So, again, whoever wins that Texans-Colts matchup on Saturday, I can already picture the whole team, the coaches, the personnel, everybody there. They're going to get together at someone's house or in a film room and watch that Jaguars-Titans game.
I always go back to the Bills when they had a long drought of not going to the playoffs, and then they won their game against some team. I forgot who they were playing that game, but they won their game, and they're all in the locker room and they're watching Baltimore and Bengals.
Mm.
And they needed, I think, the Baltimore Ravens to win.
Yeah.
And then the Baltimore Ravens won on like a last play effort, and
they're
the
all
whole
watching.
locker room celebrated. Like, it's always like, I love that. I love those moments where like you need another team to win because you're like, come on, if you win, we in. Like,
Yeah.
I like that because it's just like that competitive nature and that sports that always brings that togetherness.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, that's the AFC South for you, and we have a very similar situation, pretty much the exact same thing over in the NFC. If you scroll up a bit, Tori, just a little bit scroll up, over in the hunt, right there. Yeah, so as you can tell, we have 4 teams in the hunt, fighting for that 7th seed, and I believe if you scroll up more, it might be the 6th seed as well. Up more. Yeah, the 7th and the 4th seed, yeah. So, as you can see, the Bucks currently first in the NFC South, 8-8, and fighting for a spot either in division or in the 7th seed as a wild card spot is the Saints and the Falcons. Very similar to the AFC South. You have Jacksonville, Indianapolis, and Houston. But in the NFC, we have New Orleans, Tampa Bay, and Atlanta.
Yeah.
And it's a tough matchup, you know. Tampa Bay, they had the opportunity to clinch the division this past week,
yeah,
but they got smacked against New Orleans.
Yeah.
And that was just
a lot of turnovers.
Yeah, a lot of turnovers there from Baker Mayfield and the Bucks. Kind of a shocker there, but they are able still to control their own destiny.
The fact that we're even saying that is crazy about the Bucks, though, because like the Bucks coming in was just like, oh, they got Baker Mayfield, and it was the whole situation around that was just like, oh, okay, they're gonna be okay, I guess.
Yeah.
But they're like competing for the division, and it's like, all right, this team is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're not like world beaters or anything, but like they're sitting here and in position to win. Just win it when you're in. That's it.
That's all
like,
it is.
That's it. That's how simple as you could get. Win it in, and like the fact that they're in this position is like amazing because like the Saints were the team going into the season that you're like they need to be winning the division because like they just got a quarterback and they have a good defense, and they're like, oh, you're a quarterback away to compete.
Their offense. I mean, I think the absence of Alvin Kamara in the beginning of the season kind of threw them off a bit, but they've clearly kind of cleaned it up. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not 12-4, 13-3 numbers, you know, but 8-8, they're still in position for a playoff spot, and they are in just that. So yeah, the Bucks 8-8. They will take on the Carolina Panthers, which I believe they secured the number 2 seed or number 2 draft pick.
Carolina.
I think so.
Yeah.
Could be wrong.
Ooh, yeah, because like they had the number 1 pick, but that is for
Chicago now.
Chicago.
Yeah,
that's
Chicago.
Pick.
How many number 1 picks have they got in the past?
Bro, you know what I'm
decade,
saying?
Dude.
Look, they need to give up the number 1 pick to the Raiders or give Justin Fields to the Raiders. Somebody, you know what I'm saying? I just need a quarterback for my team. That's it.
Yeah, so basically they win. They're in. They're in regardless, I like to say. Yeah. No, actually, there's a chance they can miss out, and that's if Atlanta beats New Orleans. But then it's just all a mess. It's just all a mess.
Yeah,
but Tampa Bay right now, basically, you win, you're in. And all the other teams have to worry about is the Saints and the Falcons. If you win, you got to need the Packers to lose against Chicago, which the odds aren't really in favor of them, you know. But, I mean, Jordan Love and the Packers have been kind of slumping lately. They have a great year this year. Currently 8-8 as well, second in NFC North behind the Detroit Lions, who have been nothing short of surprise this season, especially what head coach Dan Campbell have done in Detroit. It's just been phenomenal. But I see Green Bay pretty much sneaking into this one.
Yeah, I would say like Green Bay, like you found your quarterback. Like I don't know what it is. Like they had 3 quarterbacks over the past 25 years. Which is amazing. Which is amazing stat because like a lot of other teams, they just go through this quarterback carousel and just like, and like the fact that like you're able to find quarterbacks and keep them for a long time and you just found another gem is amazing and just build around him really. And yeah, Green Bay, like I don't know if Green Bay was a team that like you're like, okay, they're gonna win the division. Like I think Vikings were up there until the season played out, but it was like, okay, Green Bay's in the mix, and and Green Bay owns Chicago. Really, is like,
so it's pretty much tough for either the Saints or the Falcons to kind of get that wild card spot, unless the Bucks win. Unless the Bucks lose. So it's a bunch of what ifs, and watch to see this Sunday just how the playoff picture unfolds. But I think if you want to scroll up again, Tori, please, just to look at who actually is in for sure. I'm looking at the NFC right now. Yeah,
we gotta talk about them. We gotta talk about them. We gotta talk about that star.
Why else am I here? Why else am I here? We have to talk about
star.
it. Come on now.
Oh my God.
The Cowboys, who, in all honesty, been very shaky lately.
Yeah.
Very shaky, and it was a very shaky win against Detroit on Saturday night. But it's just basically you win, you're in the division. You win the division, the NFC East.
No way they choke, right?
There's a possibility. There's always a possibility. I don't know about against Sam Howell, dude. I don't know about against Sam Howell. I mean, Philadelphia choked last week against Arizona. But I will say Arizona is a good football team. They just didn't have their starters like Kyler Murray and James Conner and everyone else, during most of the season. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And even when they didn't have them, they beat the Cowboys at the beginning of the season. They smacked the Cowboys. Yeah. So I like to say Arizona's a good football team, and I'm not surprised that they beat Philadelphia last week. I'll be honest with that. Okay. But I'm looking at the playoff picture. You know what I mean? Basically, Rams lose against the Niners, which most likely the Niners are going to bench all their players. Purdy should rest. Debo should rest. McCaffrey better rest. I mean, if Shanahan plays McCaffrey, I don't know what he's thinking. And he's been doing that lately. All season long, he's been playing McCaffrey when he's not needed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if he chooses to do that, the Rams, their odds of winning this game kind of minimizes. Basically, Rams win, they secure the 6th seed. If they lose, potential to drop back to 7th, which means Packers, if they win, which they're playing Chicago, should win comfortably. They'll get the 6th seed. Cowboys will play Green Bay at Cowboy Stadium. If the Rams lose, the Rams win, LA is coming to Dallas. Which, to me personally, I don't know who I want. You know what I mean? Especially at the 2 seed. Again, assuming that the Cowboys could comfortably beat Washington, which they did early in the season on Thanksgiving. I mean, we all remember that game. Deron Bland's pick 6 of the year.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's a crazy stat, by the way.
Do I need to remind anybody about that? You know what I mean? It's pretty much, I think it was an 81% chance of the Cowboys winning the division after beating Washington this weekend. So we'll have to see. I don't know, man.
The NFC East is a division that hasn't had back-to-back division winners.
I think since 2009, I think.
Yeah,
stats.
something like that.
Time.
Or since, like, McNabb was there.
Yeah.
And, like, this year, like, it looked like the Eagles because it was, like, 10-1, right? They're 10-1, and they're rolling. I mean, they weren't playing. The whole thing about the Eagles this year, they haven't been playing the same like last year. But they're still 10-1, and everything was cool, and then they lose to 49ers, and then they lose the next 4 out of 5 games, I think. And, like, it's just this division could have been won by the Cowboys a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, if we would have lost to Miami. Yeah,
right.
Most definitely. And, again, that's a game of moments. You know what I mean? I like to say the Dallas and Miami are pretty much identical. I mean, you look at the records, you look at the matchup, those two teams are pretty much identical except for the run game. I think Miami has a really good run game. And Raheem Mostert, was it Devin A-Chain, Devon, and Jeff Wilson Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Miami has a better run game than Dallas for sure. The only reason why Dallas won that game is very similar to why Dallas lost that first matchup in Philadelphia. Because someone stepped out of bounds, right? Dak Prescott going for 2, stepped out of bounds. That cost the game against Philadelphia. Because that fumble on that first drive from the fullback, that's why Dallas lost this game. You know, if he would have scored that touchdown, we would have won, simply. You know what I mean? It was a field goal that Jason Sanders took care of in the final seconds. So, just again, looking at the picture, who would I want? It's either L.A. or Green Bay. Matt, For once, dude. For once in my life. For once in my life, I'm going to ask for Green Bay.
For Green
I'm
Bay?
going to ask for Green Bay. I mean, look.
Was it a catch?
I'm past that. I grew up. I'm past it. Great
Was it
effort
a
from
catch?
Dez. But I want to move on from that, dude. And I think a win against Green Bay in the playoffs like this, it'll do it. Fine. You know what I mean? I'll take care of it. It is what it is. I think because Green Bay has played Dallas after the Dez Bryant situation in, 2014?
Yeah.
So long ago, right? We played Green Bay, I think, twice after that. They beat us. I think that seems it wasn't a catch. We'll leave it at that. Whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ball don't lie. You know what I mean? Ball don't lie.
You also blew a lead to them, right?
They blow
in
a
the
lead.
playoffs?
Yep. They blow a lead.
I remember that.
But
Yeah.
give me Green Bay. But with that being said, that means the Rams will take on Detroit. And I will say, doesn't just because the Cowboys are going to play Green Bay in the first round, the wild card, doesn't mean that I don't think that the Cowboys have a chance of playing the Rams in the divisional round.
Yeah, because it's Detroit's first time in the playoffs. So, you literally have a new set of guys that haven't been.
The only person that has playoff experience is Jared Goff, and he went to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Didn't win, but he went to the Super Bowl.
Right.
But with a really, really good team, and I like to say Detroit this year is a really good team.
Very good team.
You know what I mean? They're completely. I mean, going from 1-16 a year or two ago,
Yeah.
to the number 3 seed.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yes.
That's a really good team there.
You know what I'm saying?
With that being said, though, with the Rams, they're a good team too. There's been injuries. There's been new faces that you got to adjust to, and those faces have been adjusting very easily, getting real comfortable with the lights in Los Angeles. You got Puka Nacua, been fantastic this year, probably in the run of Offensive Rookie of the Year, which we'll get to later.
Yeah.
You have Tutu Atwell, another player.
Yeah.
Kyron Williams.
Yeah.
He's been helping out Matthew Stafford. The only
at
veteran
this point-
that a part of this offense that we've been, not seeing is Tyler Higbee. But all these other guys have been cleaning up after him. You know what I mean?
And Cooper's been hurt.
Cooper Kupp has
in
been
and
hurt.
out.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
when he's good, when he's on the roll,
Yeah.
this wide receiver core for the Rams are very dangerous. And I don't know if Detroit can handle them if they face in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna be a great first round matchup, and I feel like it's just experience versus unexperienced.
Yeah.
And I think that could be very good in that regard.
Yep.
Yeah, this playoff's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so fun.
No, exactly that. Especially for Matthew Stafford to go play against his former Lions.
In the
Detroit,
playoffs?
in the playoffs.
Crazy. No, that's really. I really didn't even think of that.
Yeah,
and
I
that's
want
gonna
that.
be a hometown reunion. They're gonna love him out there, though.
Yeah.
I mean, they're probably gonna boo him a little bit because.
But how bad do they want to beat him?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All that has to go to the side. I mean,
Yeah.
I know he was a franchise quarterback for Detroit for many, many years. But do you think he's thinking the same thing? I think he's thinking, I want to go to the Super Bowl. And
I think
Detroit's
some
the same
part of
way.
him will be thinking that,
Yeah.
but definitely when the game starts,
It
it's
all
out
goes
the
out
win.
the window.
I'm here to win. What
Yeah.
you mean? Yeah, 100%.
No, most definitely. And again, the quarterback switch.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
literally.
Matthew Stafford used to be a quarterback for the Lions.
The narratives in this game, that's crazy.
Jared Goff used to be with the Rams.
This
I
might
mean,
be one of the best first round.
so give me the
matchups.
Cowboys against Green Bay in the first round. Give me the Lions against the Rams. But that means that the Rams have to beat San Francisco this weekend. I really hope they do because I want that to happen.
Yeah. Sam Darnold was the backup.
Sam Darnold's
right?
the backup quarterback for the Niners. Again, McCaffrey has to rest.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
That's literally your
That's
whole
literally
offense.
your whole offense right there.
Him
you
and
know?
Debo.
Debo has to rest. Has to rest. If you want to start a starter, keep Brandon
Because
Ayuk
you
out
literally
there.
saw them without them, and they lost 3 straight.
Yeah. Exactly that.
Literally.
You're nothing without those players, but you're gonna get the number one. Your implication means nothing after winning or losing this game. You're gonna stay as the number 1 seed.
Right.
Rest everybody. Let the Rams win this one. It's at home, so it's basically their last home game of the year.
Yeah.
So let it get their last hoorah. Actually, no, they're away.
Hoorah.
They're away. Actually, they're gonna be at San Francisco. Yeah. Last hoorah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is what I'm hoping the playoff picture stays right here. And I believe as a 5 seed,
Five
as a
seed plays
they will play the winner of
the
the
second?
NFC South. So basically, it'll be Eagles versus Tampa Bay, or the Saints or the Falcons.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll see how that unfolds. I think I'll do it for us here. We'll take a quick commercial break on Going for Two. We went on a bit of a playoff tangent, but nonetheless, it's been fun
A
here.
lot of good stuff.
First show of the new year. You're listening to Going for Two here on 22S Radio. We will be right back after the break for more NFL talk.
I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing it stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag or run away quickly. Crunch time, my time's not to be wasted. Win, lose, draw, I am not playing. In my lane, out the way is the safest. Be consistent, there's no credit in phases. Keep on working, we gon' see where it takes us. Life's a marathon, why aren't you pacing? All that sprinting, taking too many breaks is compromising your position, advancing. Real life, you get so many chances. You can't leave trying to find out the answers. We've been moving around without GPSs. We've been growing without all them enhancements. Learn quick, out here making connections. Everybody don't do what they be saying. That's why my team's who I spend day to day with. It's on us when I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing it stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag or run away quickly. Trying to get rich, but they dying to 50. Ducking these trends, I don't like what I'm seeing. They jumped the fence, but the grass wasn't greener. No one warned them about the wolves and hyenas. Eggshells, gotta watch how you treat us. Shaking hands, a part of doing business. Make a promise, make sure that you deliver. Good business, only way it continues. Money matters and you need the credentials. Coming straight up, Arbor's gon' bring issues. My time is prices, don't like to misuse it. And it only you can't half do it. If we started, we gon' see it through. Can't just talk, you gotta show the proof. My interest is making these money moves. Not running my mouth and not coming through. Let's run up the back, I need something new. I'm high on the bills, I want them blue. You want me to work, I'ma need it soon. They all in the way, we gon' need some room. Locked in and focused like missiles on cruise. Going non-stop, I got something to prove. Playing with us, you gon' definitely lose. Never slow down, cause I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing it stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag or run away quickly. I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing it stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag or run away quickly. Crunch time, my time's not to be wasted. Win, lose, draw, I am not playing. In my lane, out the way is the safest. Be consistent, there's no credit in phases. Keep on working, we gon' see where it takes us. Life's a marathon, why aren't you pacing? All that sprinting, taking too many breaks is compromising your position, advancing. Real life, you get so many chances. You can't leave trying to find out the answers. We've been moving around without GPSs. We've been growing without all them enhancements. Learn quick, out here making connections. Everybody don't do what they be saying. That's why my team's who I spend day to day with. It's on us when I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing it stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag or run away quickly. Trying to get rich, but they dying to 50. Ducking these trends, I don't like what I'm seeing. They jumped the fence, but the grass wasn't greener. No one warned them about the wolves and hyenas. Eggshells, gotta watch how you treat us. Shaking hands, a part of doing business. Make a promise, make sure that you deliver. Good business, only way it continues. Money matters and you need the credentials. Coming straight up, Arbor's gon' bring issues. My time is prices, don't like to misuse it. And it only you can't half do it. If we started, we gon' see it through. Can't just talk, you gotta show the proof. My interest is making these money moves. Not running my mouth and not coming through. Let's run up the back, I need something new. I'm high on the bills, I want them blue. You want me to work, I'ma need it soon. They all in the way, we gon' need some room. Locked in and focused like missiles on cruise. Going non-stop, I got something to prove. Playing with us, you gon' definitely lose. Never slow down, cause I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing, it's stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag, I'll run away quickly. I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing, it's stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable.
We are 22S Radio at 88.1 FM HD3 KKJZ Long Beach, Los Angeles.
YouTube, thank you so much. But also on 88.1 FM HD3 KKJZ Long Beach, Los Angeles. I am Jerry Reynoso alongside Matthew Dixon, a.k.a. Matty Ice.
Talk to me.
How you doing, brother? First show of the year.
Feeling good, man. Feeling good. NFL's popping off, so you know it's all love.
Stuff
really.
is going down, dude.
Yeah.
Week 18 coming up. We spent the first half hour of the show talking about the NFL playoff picture for both the NFC and AFC. But I think it's time to transition before we preview into Week 18 and what that looks like for everybody in the league. Let's go ahead and talk about the NFL awards. I mean, some would say it's way too early to predict that right now, but I think, again, if we talk about Week 18, the season usually would end now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Literally.
We would decide and start talking, but ever since I think last year's when they added the week, the extra week,
Yeah.
we get to kind of figure out some playoff seeds with this final week of the season.
Mhm.
So with that being said, let's go and dig into it, man.
Let's dig into it. I'm gonna start with the rookie.
Let's go ahead and start with the rookie of the year. Yeah, you want to go
Rookie.
defensive or offensive?
I was gonna go offensive.
Let's do it.
I think it's just C.J. Stroud, really.
C.J. Stroud.
Yeah,
the offensive rookie of the year.
Offensive rookie year. My bad.
Yeah,
Sorry,
offense. Yeah, offensive rookie of the year.
I would say, the wide receiver, what's his name?
Puka. Puka Nakua for the Rams. Yep.
Puka is.
That's basically what I was
offensive.
thinking too, man. Yeah.
I think, he just blew up. He came out of nowhere, really. And I think, like, the fact that he was able to really just take it by storm, I think that's his trophy, really.
Yeah, no, dude, he's definitely been crazy. I mean, he got 1,000+ yards in his rookie season. I mean, I think pretty much if you got 1,000+ yards receiving, you're pretty much in the run for an award like this. But there was a point at the beginning of the season where I think he caught 15 catches in a game. You know what I mean? Which to me that's nuts, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, not even the vets have been doing that lately. You know, not even someone like Tyreek Hill or, you know, everybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This guy has been popping off and has been a big help for this Rams, and one of the biggest reasons why the Rams are still able to fight for a playoff spot and clinch the playoffs. You know what I mean? So I'm agree with you on that one. I'm gonna go with Puka Nakua, wide receiver for the Los Angeles Rams for the offensive rookie of the year. And let's go ahead and transition to defensive rookie of the year. Now we did decide offensive rookie of the year, but there could still be a rookie of the year. So there's three awards when it comes to rookies: offensive rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year, and then the rookie of the year, which to me makes absolutely no sense.
It's just so cluttered when you talk about NFL. It's just like, why there's so many awards? Just keep it simple. But yeah.
No, most definitely.
It's
As
like
of right now, the odds for the defensive rookie of the year, as I'm trying to load them up.
The three I have at the top really is Jalen Carter,
Mhm.
defensive tackle for the Philadelphia Eagles, Devon Witherspoon, DB for Seattle Seahawks, and the third one I had was Darren Bland.
Yep.
Your guy from Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, Deron Bland, yeah. I mean, dude, Deron Bland. I mean, he, to me, again, either I could be biased, unbiased. The numbers don't lie, dude. I mean, this guy has stepped up hugely for the Cowboys. I mean, NFL record on his rookie year. You know what I mean? Which is insane.
Yeah.
This guy as a rookie can even be in the conversation for defensive player of the year. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think when it comes to Bland, he set a record that no one else had, right?
He broke the record that
he broke the
or he
record.
broke the record that hasn't been met with in decades. You know what I mean? Most pick sixes in a season, with 6 this year. I mean,
As a rookie too,
as
it's
a roo-
like crazy.
I'm actually
like,
gonna double check if he is a rookie real quick. I believe he is, but I'm just gonna double check real quick.
I think that's like very cool and very amazing. I think Jalen Carter. I feel like Jalen Carter is also in that running, really, just because he just looked like he looks like a pro. Like he doesn't really look like a rookie, and the like his first game, the way he just dominated offensive linemen is like incredible. Like he's game record.
Yeah.
And like the way he played from week 1 to now is just amazing.
Yeah.
So
So
like
I'm gonna tell you right now, he actually isn't a rookie. It's his second year. But let me
Okay.
tell you something, and I know why we both got confused, and it's because last year, as a rookie, he got drafted last year. As a rookie, he was under the shadow of Trayvon Diggs. You know what I mean? Trayvon Diggs had a fantastic year last year as well.
Trayvon Diggs is someone that also loves to pick the ball a lot.
Yeah, exactly
so,
that.
yeah.
So, as I'm saying, if he wasn't in contention, but this guy, Deron Bland, has been absolutely fantastic, dude. I mean, filling in the shoes of Trayvon Diggs, who was out for the season due to a torn ACL that he suffered in practice, which, dude, for me, it's like I'd rather suffer an ACL in a game, you know what I mean? Because you get some kind of impact on the field.
Right.
But unfortunately for him, he did it in practice, out for the year. Had the opportunity to play his own brother in Stephon Diggs for the first time this season. Couldn't because he got hurt, which to me is just like, dude, dang, I was looking forward to playing you at the end of the year. You know what I mean?
So nice.
But unfortunately missed out on that opportunity. But this guy, Deron Bland, has stepped up hugely. But nah, dude, I mean, defensive rookies this year have been kind of quiet. I think we've, especially the media, have put a lot of spotlight on the offensive side of things, especially for the rookies this year. I mean, we named
Like
a bunch
they always
already.
do.
You know what I mean? Which they always do. But defensive rookie of the year, I think, especially since last year with Micah Parsons, I mean,
yeah.
that was the first sure, like, definitive, like, this person is going to win rookie of the year for sure.
He started off so hot in terms of defensive player of the year, but like it slowed down
Yeah.
drastically.
No, most definitely. Just looking at the stats right here for Jalen Carter. Again, I'm trying to load him up here. Kind of taking a moment. But yeah, this guy, in terms of betting odds, this guy pretty much is the guy who's gonna win the defensive rookie of the year as of right now.
Yeah.
And again, doesn't want to load up. The reception here is pretty bad, but we got it right here on the screen. Pretty much averaging almost a sack.
One sack, week 3, and then there's a little drop off.
Yeah, they got 2 sacks against the Rams, but a total of 6 sacks this season, which leads the rookies in defensive tackles this year. So again, not extreme numbers,
but
in terms of comparison from all the other defensive rookies,
Right.
it's the best.
and if you
so
watch
that's why.
him, he impacts the game regardless if he's getting a sack or not. Like he's like his job as a defensive tackle is to literally push the line, and he does that masterfully.
Yeah, most definitely. It definitely makes impact and disrupts the opposition's offensive line for sure. But yeah, I think it's just safe to say as of right now, just Jalen Carter, unless somebody just, I don't know. But the thing is, these awards, again, it's way too early to decide. These awards kind of are decided, I believe, the week of the Super Bowl, right? So they still have playoffs to make an impact. Somebody could turn things around, you know what I mean? But like I said, offensive rookies are more, have a pedestal on them compared to defensive rookies, unless the defensive rookies are just outstanding. And again, best examples at when Michael Parsons rookie year for that. Rookie of the year. Say it in 3 seconds. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
C.J. Stroud.
Right?
C.J. Stroud.
Pretty much
bro.
simple. C.J. Stroud's gonna win the offensive
Simple.
rookie or the rookie of the year award. This guy has been fantastic from a brand new Texans team that is fighting for a playoff spot this Saturday against the Colts.
just everything, man. The way, I mean, he's putting his team in position to get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, as a rookie, I think, like, that alone should get him in. And the way he plays on the field is everything you want in a quarterback, really.
Yep.
And it's just, at year one, he's already there. And you say he was also in MVP conversations early in the year. So, I think, like, yeah. So, like, you know, just steps and steps. And he's going to be a great in the league for sure.
No, most definitely. Yeah, CJ Stroud, easy rookie of the year pickup right there. Let's go ahead and run through this quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, comeback player of the year. Now, I think you and I can agree, and I think everybody in the NFL, any NFL fan can agree that Damar Hamlin, it's a beautiful story that last season suffered an unfortunate cardiac arrest, was able to play a football game this year, and continues to perform for this Bills team. It's a beautiful story. And it's most likely that the NFL, and we wouldn't be surprised if he gets a comeback player of the year award.
Yeah, it wouldn't be surprising.
Yeah, and
sure.
it's well-deserved, for sure. You know what I mean? There's no secret about that. We don't want to bash on his comeback.
No,
but I
literally.
think from a performance perspective, we can decide as well who is also worthy to be on this conversation with Damar Hamlin.
Right.
So, for you, who do you decide?
I say Baker Mayfield. I think the narrative going in is like Baker Mayfield is a bust. And by this time, he got his team in position to get to playoffs, and also, you know, he changed the narrative that he is a bad quarterback. Like, he's a good quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? He could compete, and he had that competitive nature.
Yep.
And yeah, you know, he's one win away from getting to the playoffs. So my pick is Baker Mayfield.
No, I like that pick. Baker Mayfield has the pressure of replacing Tom Brady from the Bucs, and also being traded away from Cleveland for a new project over in Tampa Bay. So this guy's been stepping it up, connecting very well with Mike Evans, and just doing what he can with the squad that he has, and it's been paying off lately. I like your pick, but I think just based off the story and what I've been seeing, dude, I gotta go with my man Joe Flacco, dude. Joe Flacco. Joe Cool has been on a tear despite coming in, you know, a little bit later in the season. But this whole Cleveland Browns team, the story is fantastic, dude. I mean, this weekend they're going to bench Joe Flacco, so they're going to start their sixth quarterback in this year.
That's crazy. And
they
just made the
they made the playoffs.
Double-digit wins?
Yes. Made the playoffs and almost put pressure on the Ravens for the division. That, to me, is crazy.
I mean, it should have happened regardless because you have Deshaun Watson, and you had Nick Chubb before he got injured, and you're like, this team should be competing for the division.
No, most definitely. I mean, 6 different quarterbacks, especially signing a hefty contract, a controversial kind of, should we sign him or not? But Deshaun Watson, extension, he's fine. After all the stuff he's gone through, unfortunately, he suffered an injury, had so many players stepping up, but Joe Flacco's been that key guy who's been definitely a big difference for this Cleveland side. But this whole team in general, I mean, Elijah Moore is wide receiver, Amari Cooper, Kareem Hunt in the mix again, coming back here for Cleveland. That's shocking to me.
Yeah.
And Nick Chubb as well. You know, that running back team is just really good. But Joe Flacco. He sat on the couch majority of the year, got a call for Cleveland. Hey, we need Kobe, want to join in?
It was literally like, oh, come play for us.
Yeah.
And it was like, all right. And, like, the expectation is like, oh, nothing's going to really happen. Nothing's going to change for him. They'll probably just get out the playoffs. Woo-woo. But, like, he comes in and he's, you know, this is prime Flacco right here. What you mean? And it's like, okay, Joe, like, you in your bag right now. So, like, they in the position. They could be one of these spoiling teams in the playoffs. Like, don't catch them on the wrong night.
Yeah.
Because, like, they could spoil your night. And they could probably get a playoff win.
No, almost definitely. Dude, Joe Flacco literally picked up that phone. Hey, what's up, Coach Kevin Stefanski? How you doing, man?
Right.
I'm just drinking a beer right now. Like, what's up?
Chilling.
Put his beer down and signed a contract, and here he is in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's going to get a rest here week 18. I'm going to go with him for my comeback player of the year. And coach of the year.
Coach of the year.
Dude, I'm going to have to go with Kevin Stefanski. I mean, with all these injuries, this guy was still able to put it away. I do like D'Amico Ryans as an option as well because this guy's turning that team around. Dan Campbell as well. there's a lot of coaches, that are in running for this. Kyle Shanahan, he's just been phenomenal for the Niners, this year. But in terms of circumstances and keeping the team together, keeping the team afloat, Stefanski, D'Amico Ryans, and what's the other name I just named right now?
Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell. Dude, those three coaches, they're all in the running for me.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to go with Stefanski, though, because you're about to start your sixth quarterback in the season.
Nah, I hear you. That's a good pick. I also had like DeMarco Ryans on there, and I had Todd Bowles on there too, because they are in contention.
Yeah.
And really, top of my pick, I would say Dan Campbell, just because you took the Detroit Lions to the playoffs.
Yeah.
You haven't done that since the 90s.
Won a division,
in
30 years.
They haven't won the division since the 90s. My bad. They went to the playoffs a couple times.
Yeah.
But, and I think that's very big.
That's a
and,
tough pick.
I really love Dan Campbell, like that type of coach. That's why, like, as a Raider fan, I like Antonio Pierce, because I think Antonio Pierce brings that same energy Dan Campbell does. Like, it's a culture. Like, it's a culture.
He's definitely
set.
a Raider, dude. He's definitely a Raider.
You know what I'm saying? Like that. Like, what a great coach is, like, they might not know the X and O's like that.
Yeah.
But if they could establish a culture, which I think Dan Campbell did 2 years ago, you have the results you have now. Mm-hmm. And they're a playoff team, and they're competing against every team. And, like, even last year they had a chance to get into the playoffs, but they missed out from that final week. It's just a culture set. Yeah. And, like, Dan Campbell brought that, and I think – I don't know. Did he win it last year?
I'm not sure. I have to look into that again, to be honest.
But
there could be which he deserves to win it,
right.
to be honest. You know what I mean? If he did. Real quick, offensive player of the year.
T.Y. Hill.
Tyreek Hill.
I'm sorry.
Tyreek Hill?
Tyreek Hill, yes. My bad.
I'm going to go with McCaffrey.
Yeah.
20-plus rushing touchdowns. I'm going to go with that. Defensive player of the year, you have anybody in mind?
My heart wants to say Max Crosby so bad. But if the Raiders were in playoffs, maybe. But I think T.J. Watt. Or Myles Garrett. I think the only reason I say that is because when it comes to defensive player of the year, I think it's just about – I think that all they look at is the sacks.
Yeah.
And they're like, who has the most sacks?
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, give it to him.
Yeah. I'm going to throw in two players in the mix. You decide who you want. Deron Bland, we talked earlier, and then Aiden Hutchinson. I like Aiden Hutchinson a lot as a linebacker.
Yeah, he's a dog.
He's been really fun to watch this year.
I think
Michael Parsons, too. Why not? Throw him in there, dude. He's been awesome.
I think when it comes to defensive player of the year, for DB to win, I think a lot of interceptions. And they literally have to be, like, because, like, I don't know who the last defensive back was to win. I think it was Charles Woodson, maybe, in Green Bay.
Yeah.
And, like, you have to have, like, 10 interceptions and a lockdown corner.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the only way a defensive back wins. Like, you have to be, like.
No, most definitely. There's a lot of options there for that one. All right, and for the final one before we close out the show, MVP, who you going with?
Lamar Action Jackson, man.
This guy has been on a tear this year, bro. Lamar Jackson, it almost seems like he's the only answer.
Like, I think because the MVP race, I would say, has been it's been iffy, really. Like, beginning of the year, it was like Parsons and McCaffrey and Mahomes, Purdy. And
even
then
C.J. Stroud got in the mix.
Yeah, C.J. Stroud got in the mix. And then, like, the last couple weeks has been slow. And you're like, there's no one guy that's been crazy dominant. And then a 2-week stretch, Lamar Jackson throws like 5 touchdowns in each game.
Yep.
Against Super Bowl caliber teams.
Yep.
And 2 teams that have MVP candidates on them, Tua and Purdy. So you're like, oh, if he's beating MVP candidates and outperforming them by a large margin, Lamar Jackson.
I'm about to agree with you. Lamar Jackson has been on a tear this year. And I mean, he looks like him and the Baltimore Ravens look like the scariest team entering the playoffs here.
Really.
But that'll do it for us here on Going for Two.
Yeah.
Again, thank you for joining us. Jerry Reynoso.
Matty Ice.
Matty Ice over here. Stay tuned for the next hour. We have Footy Fridays with Desi Lopez and Zach Durham. Stay tuned if you like soccer. We have a lot to talk about there and that, but that'll do it for us here on 22S Radio. Next show coming up here after this commercial break.
Peace.
I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing it stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag or run away quickly. Crunch time, my time's not to be wasted. Win, lose, draw, I am not playing. In my lane, out the way is the safest. Be consistent, there's no credit in phases. Keep on working, we gon' see where it takes us. Life's a marathon, why aren't you pacing? All that sprinting, taking too many breaks is compromising your position, advancing. Real life, you get so many chances. You can't lead trying to find out the answers. We've been moving around without GPSs. We've been growing without all them enhancements. Learn quick, out here making connections. Everybody don't do what they be saying. That's why my team's who I spend day to day with. It's on us when I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing it stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag or run away quickly. Trying to get rich, but they dying to 50. Ducking these trends, I don't like what I'm seeing. They jumped the fence, but the grass wasn't greener. No one warned them about the wolves and hyenas. Eggshells, gotta watch how you treat us. Shaking hands, a part of doing business. Make a promise, make sure that you deliver. Good business, only way it continues. Money matters and you need the credentials. Coming straight up, barbers gon' bring issues. My time is prices, don't like to misuse it. And it only you can't have, do it. If we started, we gon' see it through. Can't just talk, you gotta show the proof. My interest is making these money moves. Not running my mouth and not coming through. Let's run up the back, I need something new. I'm high on the bills, I want them blue. You want me to work, I'ma need it soon. They all in the way, we gon' need some room. Locked in and focused like missiles on cruise. Going non-stop, I got something to prove. Playing with us, you gon' definitely lose. Never slow down, cause I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing it stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag or run away quickly. I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing it stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag or run away quickly. Crunch time, my time's not to be wasted. Win, lose, draw, I am not playing. In my lane, out the way is the safest. Be consistent, there's no credit in phases. Keep on working, we gon' see where it takes us. Life's a marathon, why aren't you pacing? All that sprinting, taking too many breaks is compromising your position, advancing. Real life, you get so many chances. You can't lead trying to find out the answers. We've been moving around without GPSs. We've been growing without all them enhancements. Learn quick, out here making connections. Everybody don't do what they be saying. That's why my team's who I spend day to day with. It's on us when I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing it stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag or run away quickly. Trying to get rich, but they dying to 50. Ducking these trends, I don't like what I'm seeing. They jumped the fence, but the grass wasn't greener. No one warned them about the wolves and hyenas. Eggshells, gotta watch how you treat us. Shaking hands, a part of doing business. Make a promise, make sure that you deliver. Good business, only way it continues. Money matters and you need the credentials. Coming straight up, barbers gon' bring issues. My time is prices, don't like to misuse it. And it only you can't have, do it. If we started, we gon' see it through. Can't just talk, you gotta show the proof. My interest is making these money moves. Not running my mouth and not coming through. Let's run up the back, I need something new. I'm high on the bills, I want them blue. You want me to work, I'ma need it soon. They all in the way, we gon' need some room. Locked in and focused like missiles on cruise. Going on stop, I got something to prove. Playing with us, you gon' definitely lose. Never slow down, cause I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing it stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag, I'll run away quickly. I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing it stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag, I'll run away quickly. Crunch time, my time's not to be wasted. Win, lose, draw, I am not playing.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Footy Fridays. It's been quite a minute since we've gotten to talk footy here at the 22 West studio. I'm Zach Durham, joined by Desi Lopez and our producer, Carlos, behind the camera. We got a lot to talk about today. It's been a long wait to talk about football. I mean, there's just a lot that's been going on.
Especially for you, Zach. You weren't here last or three weeks ago now.
Yeah,
right? So,
unfortunately, I had to miss that one.
yeah, but he's back and he's all good.
We're all good.
I know there were some prayers up for Zach comments last.
That was a
3
rough
weeks
week
ago.
for me as a sports fan. I
Oh,
mean,
man.
Ohtani signed for the Angels. My Herbert went out with a season-ending injury.
Oh, that's right.
My Longhorns just got eliminated from the freaking college football playoff.
It's a rough day to be Zach, man.
Yeah, but we got footy. We're
Always
gonna go.
footy.
Yeah, we're gonna go right into it. Over the break, we had the Champions League draw for the round of 16. Right, round 16.
Yep.
Those games won't be played until February, like right around Valentine's Day. But some really good matchups based off of this draw. You want to get into it?
Yeah, I mean, the first one off the bat, Copenhagen drew Man City, and after all the controversy between them and Manchester United in the knockout or in the not the knockout in the
Group
round of
stage.
16, the group stages. I mean, that's a crazy draw for them. That's really unfortunate to go up against such a juggernaut in Man City.
Yeah, and a lot of people will think like, how does Man City always end up getting the easier draw?
Yeah.
I mean, but at the end of the day, I think a part of it is because, well, you can't get drawn against
Your own league, right?
against Premier League opponents. But to be fair, there's only one other Premier League team, and it's Arsenal.
Yeah, that's true.
As
I mean-
Newcastle and Man United were knocked out.
I mean, I want to see Copenhagen win that game. But
Yeah.
at the same time, like, it's kind of crazy that Manchester City didn't get drawn against, I mean, a more formidable team in the Champions League. You know, like, I know they might want to save some of their bigger matchups until, like, the later stages of the competition. But,
I thought it would have been cool if PSG got them.
yeah. That
PSG
was,
and Man City in the
That would-
knockout stage. That
yeah.
would have been.
Man City, Barcelona. I mean,
Yeah.
Barcelona's kind of, they're in a tough position right now, but.
Yeah, they get
face
Napoli.
Napoli, yeah,
they
they
get
face
Napoli.
Napoli,
That's
that's
kind of they haven't been doing too hot in the Serie A
Yeah.
this season, but still, I mean, that's a team that you don't really want to get matched up against. And I feel like they've played a lot in the Champions League in recent history. I know there was that crazy. Oh, I'm thinking of Roma. That was Roma with that
Yeah.
crazy Kostas Manolas.
Oh, yeah.
I'll never forget that game. That was so fun to watch.
Oh, man.
But yeah, Barcelona, they've got a lot to play for still. As I'm
Yeah.
pulling up, Napoli are in 8th place, so this is kind of their
This is their
season.
This is their part of the season where they have to.
the Champions
Make
League
some
is their
moves.
priority at this
Yeah,
point.
100%. I feel like it's the same with a few of these other teams. You know, like PSG, they basically win the league in almost every year. It
Yeah,
feels
that's
like.
true.
So they need to show that they can, win some games in this competition because they played Sociedad. They drew Sociedad in there with their.
That's kind of a sleeper
Pick.
matchup, though. I
Yeah,
think.
I
I think a
agree.
lot of people are sleeping on Sociedad. You got Kubo and Oyarzabal,
No, they've been
two
doing
really
well.
good
They've been
wingers.
doing really well.
Mikel Moreno in the midfield. I mean, they've got players, and PSG. they squeaked away out of the group of death.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, 100%.
Do you think that it was deserved that they were the second team out of there?
I mean, I think it was deserved, but like with the quality of players that they have, it should have been a little bit like you would think that they would have been a little bit more like formidable in that group, even though it was the group of death, obviously. But
Well, they could have won the group.
Yeah,
to
they
be
could have.
honest. I mean, that game against Dortmund, they had like 5 or 6 chances. But a couple of good saves. Did you see that one by Sula?
Yeah.
That last-ditch sliding tackle. I mean, that right there was the difference of PSG
I mean, you also think about
winning the league and not, you know.
You also think about the last goal they scored to put them into the knockout stages was a penalty, right, from Mbappe
Yeah.
to beat Newcastle, was it? Did they beat
Yeah.
Newcastle?
Well, he scored in that Dortmund game, but it wasn't. I don't even know how it happened, but
Yeah.
yeah.
remember
I
he
mean,
scored
if
the penalty,
Mbappe didn't score that penalty
Yeah.
late against Newcastle, they would not have been in those shoes.
Yeah. So
And yeah, you got to feel for Newcastle, but they were just inexperienced. It would have been kind of a shock if they made it out of that group of death.
yeah, Newcastle are struggling in the Premier League too, but we'll kind of cover that in a little bit later. But yeah, one of the matchups before we move on that I'm excited for: Atletico Madrid and Inter
Yeah.
Milan. Inter Milan.
Yeah, that's going to be an exciting one. I think if either team were to have an edge, I would give it to Inter,
Oh yeah.
just based on their recent history in the Champions League and handling the pressure.
Yeah.
Atletico Madrid have a really good roster though, but
I like Madrid. I like Madrid in this matchup, but
yeah, it'd be tight.
I think that's my favorite one of the draw.
Oh, that should be the top matchup in this round of
Yeah,
16.
I
2
agree.
European giants going at it.
Yeah.
Did
I
you?
agree.
I asked you earlier that game between Atletico Madrid and Girona.
Oh yeah.
That was something to watch, and I think obviously Milan don't play with as much attacking prowess as Girona. Girona's. I mean, we got to talk about that
Yeah.
maybe later.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that after the break because they are just having an incredible season. But yeah, I think you're right. That Inter Milan and Atletico Madrid is the matchup to watch for.
That's a highlight of that Champions League draw for sure. But anything else of Champions League before we move on to some quick Premier League stuff?
Well, I remember recently they changed the rule to where, because I was under the impression that the winner, because it was a draw, you know, I was under the impression that the winner of Group A was going to play the runner-up of Group B.
Yep, that's how it's always been. I feel like.
And
right?
so do you think, which do you prefer? Do you prefer
Well, I
the
think-
draw, or do you like it when group winners and runners-up are matched up against
I
each
think
other?
depending on how these matchups go, because like these seem like pretty even matchups for the most part. I mean,
Mhm.
aside from Copenhagen, again, who knows what they're going to do against Man City? But aside from that, like they seem pretty. Well, I just saw Real Madrid and Leipzig, so that's another one. But it seems pretty evenly matched, at least in my opinion. So once the first round is over, then it might be easier to say. But I think it might work out for them. I mean, obviously it's a big change from how it used to be in the Champions League. So I don't know. I'm excited to see how the matchups go.
The way I see it is they already have a draw at
Yeah.
the beginning when they put the teams in the group. Why not just so when you do that draw, you know, okay, these 2 teams are in Group A, or these 4 teams are in Group A, these 4 teams are in Group B.
Right.
4 of these teams are going to have a possibility to play each other in the next round.
Yeah.
So you can kind of get an idea of how the tournament's going to go based off of which teams are in which group. So I guess in that sense, it could have gotten a little predictable.
Yeah.
But I think it just had to do with avoiding like scheduling conflicts, not having
Yeah.
teams within the same league go up against each other in the first round.
Well, I was gonna say it's a little bit more. It's a little bit more of a conflict when you draw the teams rather than do it based on performance.
Yeah.
Because like when you perform well in a group, you expect to, have that matter towards the knockout rounds, and like you expect to play someone who didn't beat their or finish top of their group. But now it's like some of these teams finish top of their group and they have to play someone else because that was their draw.
Hey, anything but the Super League, man.
Yeah. That's-
We'll
anything
save
but
that
the
for another
Super League.
episode, but I'm
Yeah.
just glad
Yeah.
most of Europe decided against the Super League,
That was
because
a
I
crazy
think
time
that
when
was
that-
I think that would be very detrimental to a sport.
100%.
But
Happy we got no Super League.
yeah, I'm very excited for the Champions League. I believe the first games are around Valentine's Day,
Middle of February, yeah.
middle of February. So a little bit of time. Teams have this January transfer window to add some depth and make a run in the Champions League. And I'm going to keep an eye on PSV.
Yep.
That's my sleeper team.
We didn't talk
Keep
about
an
that.
eye on PSV. They are matched up against Dortmund, who I feel like you never really know what you're going to get out of Dortmund in the Champions League. They could either have a Cinderella run and make it to the semis or quarters, or they can fall flat in the round of 16.
Yeah.
But they did win that group of death, so
did, yeah.
they are looking as good as they've been in the Champions League in recent years.
Yeah, and they might, pick up some players in the transfer window as well to make a
Jaden
change.
Sancho.
There you go.
Jaden
Exactly.
Sancho.
Exactly.
That
Yeah.
would be something. The homecoming.
I think he's going to thrive there. But
Oh, he
we'll get
should.
into some transfer stuff in a little bit. I think he's going to thrive.
Yeah.
He's
Well, back in England, it's very crowded at the top. Very crowded at the top. I mean, just on Christmas Day,
Mhm.
we saw Arsenal at the top,
and then
and then they've lost 2 straight. Now they find themselves in 4th place.
and one of their losses was to Aston Villa,
Yeah,
who are sitting second in the table right now.
Yeah,
3
Aston
points
Villa.
behind Liverpool.
Aston Villa still flying high.
And they're doing well. They're on good form. They only lost 1 in their last 5, so they're doing well.
Yeah, that one loss was to Man United.
Yep.
Well, and they were
exactly.
up 2-0 at
Yeah.
halftime. Man United came all the way back.
Yeah.
Shout out Beto and Jerry and Maher,
All the United fans.
all the United fans.
They're
but
sitting 8th in the table, so not.
They're floating around. They're still competing for a European
Great.
spot. I mean, they're only 8 points behind Tottenham. But those 5 teams, Liverpool, Villa, City, Arsenal, and Spurs, all within 6 points. So
it's gonna be a crazy finish.
It's
to
going
this
to be
year.
tight. And
Yeah.
I remember we talked about this like a little over a month ago with Jerry on the show. Jerry said, don't sleep on West Ham.
Yeah, they're sitting.
And they're sitting in 6th place.
Yep.
So shout out Jerry for that one.
Yeah, Jerry's got a good mind for the future.
But, yeah, it's going to shape up pretty interestingly. I mean, Chelsea are still doing Chelsea things. 8 wins, 4 draws, 8 losses.
That's not what you want to see from them.
I mean, what do you think they're going to do in this January? Do you think they go out and spend big like they have been in the last year since Bowley took over?
At what point do you say, like, you can't just keep spending money and expect things to change? Like, what? Where does that end? Is
Yeah.
it a culture thing? Is it the manager? Is it the players? Is it what is it? Because it can't just be you throwing money at somebody and expecting them to just perform. Because, I mean, they're obviously going to do that. I mean, I expect them to sign some striker, whether that's Osimhen or,
Ooh, that would be something.
so, yeah, exactly, something like that. But I don't know. I
I
feel like
mean,
something's got to change there. I mean, they've
yeah.
won their last 2, so, I mean,
They have won their last
They
2.
got to win,
And
but-
they're unbeaten in the last 6 home games.
yeah.
So,
there you go. They got
but if
something
you look
working
at their
for them.
injury list, it makes sense why they're rotating so many players.
Yeah.
Wesley Fofana, Trevoh Chalobah, Robert Sanchez, their new keeper that they just signed. Reece James just got hurt again. Cucurella's hurt. Enzo Fernandez, Ben Chilwell. I mean, these are all
Big names.
big names
Big
for them,
names.
and they're all hurt.
Not to mention the money that they put into some of those players
Yeah.
too. Like that's
Like
just-
Enzo.
Yeah,
It's $100 million right
exactly. Yeah.
there.
Exactly. And what about Caicedo? He's been performing well. I
You know,
think.
he had a shaky start,
Yeah.
and I think he's starting to come into
Yeah, yeah.
form. But, they always say that, I mean, Jerry said this before, you don't really notice, it's like a bass player. You don't really notice a defensive mid
That's true.
if they're doing their job
Unless
right.
they-
You
yeah.
shouldn't. If they're doing their job right, you shouldn't notice them at all. And I feel like Caicedo is finally at a point where we're not noticing him,
Yeah.
which is a
Yeah.
good sign.
Because when you're calling them out, then that's when they're. When you
Exactly.
see something happening with them, then it might not be the best. But yeah, it's. How about Newcastle, man? Sitting 9th. Real fall
Yeah,
from
they're-
grace there.
They're kind of falling apart.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about injuries. I mean, that's a team that's been really bitten hard by injuries. They
Yeah, they've lost 3 straight.
and I mean, look back at the Sandro Tonali incident. I mean,
they-
he was such an important player for that midfield, and just the stability of what Gordie Howe is trying to build up there. And you lose your best midfielder that just came in from Italy.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, recently they've just kind of collapsed. I mean, their last 3 games have all been losses against Luton Town,
Ooh.
Nottingham Forest, and Liverpool. I understand the
Oh.
Liverpool loss,
We can't.
but
Luton
you
Town-
can't drop 6 points to Luton and Nottingham Forest.
If you had told me earlier this year, I remember we had a show one time where Newcastle were sitting like 3rd in the table or 4th or something like that. They were high up there, and we were like, you know what? Can Newcastle sustain this for the entire year? Can they keep it going? Can they not get injured? And that hasn't happened. They've dealt with a lot of problems, unfortunately for them. But
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about Chelsea just now and how many injuries they have piling up. You could argue Newcastle have more important injuries given the fact that the players that are hurt are crucial to their team. Whereas obviously the same goes for Chelsea, but Chelsea, they're spending so much money on backups that those backups could essentially be starters.
Oh, yeah.
Newcastle, I know they're owned by that new Saudi group worth like $300 billion, but they haven't really supported financially in the way that Todd Bowley has with Chelsea. So looking at this injury list, Nick Pope, Matt Target, Kieran Trippier, Joe Willock, Jacob Murphy, Harvey Barnes, and Callum Wilson.
Those are big names, man.
That's like half
Those
their
are-
starting
those are big
lineup,
names.
and they don't have the backups to come in like Chelsea does, because Chelsea's backups that have came in, like Cole Palmer, look at him. He's been thriving this season.
Oh, yeah.
And then, Newcastle, it's just tough. I mean, they went from the bottom to the top, and now they're kind of falling back down to the bottom. I mean, I don't want to say they're falling to the bottom, but those last 3 games in the Premier League have not helped their case for sustaining it's just tough. You get knocked out of the Champions League, and
It might be depleting a little bit when that happens to you, especially with a lot of other problems that they've had this past year. But we talk about sustaining some wins, sustaining some injuries. Like Tottenham, man, they've kept it together with everything that's happened.
somehow
They've kept it together. 4 wins in their last 5 games. 1 loss to Brighton, was it?
Yeah.
Lost to Brighton.
Well, that Brighton game, they kind of got picked apart.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, credit to Brighton. They looked like
really good.
prime Barcelona, the
Really
way they
good.
were passing it around, moving off the ball, switching the play up
Yeah.
from right to left. And James Milner, 35 years old,
That guy,
still
man.
bossing around the
That
middle of the
guy.
park.
Yeah, he's a stud.
Yeah, he looked good that day. But you're right. I mean, Tottenham, after that Chelsea game, we've talked about that Chelsea game a lot on
That
this
was the
show.
turning point of the season.
And
right there.
then the losses to Aston Villa, Wolves, and West Ham. If
Yeah.
you get 4 or 5 points out of those games, you're within a game of first place.
Yeah.
But they're still only 6 points out. There's still plenty to play for, and they've been decimated by injuries, and it's only gotten worse. I mean, now you got Son, Pop Mater Sarr, and Basuma
Gone.
playing in AFCON, although Basuma is on a suspension
Yeah.
for having 2 red cards. I got the game on right now. They just subbed on Brian Gill.
Oh, is it?
They're taking on Burnley in the FA Cup.
Oof.
So I think that's a good segue into the FA Cup.
Yeah. I agree.
People sleep on this competition. There's a lot of good teams and the championship level of England that people just don't really understand. And I'm going to go right into it. In fact, I'm excited for Sunderland taking on Newcastle.
Yeah, man.
We just talked about Newcastle, and they're taking on their local rivals in the Sunderland Black Cats. And I like Sunderland in that one. I really do.
You said taking on Newcastle, right?
Yeah, Sunderland and Newcastle.
4:45 a.m. for us.
Yeah,
So
that's
you
don't know
what?
if I'll catch that.
Might have to watch a replay of that game somewhere, but
But yeah, I mean, I just saw it when we were looking into Newcastle and their injury depth. Sunderland they have not lost the last 9 games against Newcastle.
wow.
They have 6 wins and 3
You
draws.
think they can pull that game off? Pull off a win there?
I think they can. I mean,
Yeah?
I believe it's at home.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's at the Stadium of Light. Which
Wouldn't that be something, man? If they took Newcastle down?
yeah, it is at
Stadium of Light, yeah.
it is in Newcastle. I'm sorry, it is in Sunderland.
Yeah, that's right.
They also have some injuries too. But Jack Clark, what a player that guy is. I was looking. He's their leading scorer with 12 goals. Their second leading scorer has 4.
Oh yeah.
So he
tearing
has
it
been
up.
everything for
Tearing
them.
it up, man.
And then Bellingham's little brother Job.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those two alone are carrying them. I mean, they're in like 6th place in the championship right now. But I think an FA Cup run from them can propel a promotion for Sunderland. This is a hot take, and I hope I'm right about this. I really want to see Sunderland get promoted this year.
Are they in position to promote?
They're in 6th place right
6th
now.
place.
They're in a
They
playoff
They
position.
could challenge for it. Yeah.
I mean, look at Luton Town. Luton Town was the one that beat them last year
Oh right.
in the playoff, and they got the spot over Sunderland, which kind of broke my heart a little.
Yeah.
I don't know if you listeners know, but I'm a Spurs fan by trade, but I Sunderland till I die, courtesy of Netflix. Have you seen that show?
I have not. No.
Oh,
Is
it's
it-
worth a
is it
watch.
good?
Carlos, have you seen that? No?
No, I haven't.
It's worth a watch. It's worth a watch. It's just
I'll take a look. Man.
the fall and rise of Sunderland, put it that way. But yeah, give me Sunderland tomorrow
Nice.
to win that game.
I like it. Any other picks for the FA Cup? I mean,
Well, there's
you
the big one that
yeah,
you wanted to
just-
talk
yeah,
about.
We were going to talk about it before, but Liverpool Arsenal is somehow they got drawn together in
In
the
the
FA
round of
Cup. You said round
64.
of 64. I just don't know how that happens. Like, I mean, obviously it's a random draw. It has to be, right? So
Is it though?
do people want to see Liverpool Arsenal in the round of 64 though? Is like
See, but if
My
you're
question.
those two teams, obviously both of them are in a position to be fighting for the Premier League title.
Yeah.
How do you prioritize this game? Obviously, every game's important, But you don't want to go all out into this one trying to beat a Premier League rival in a cup game and lose some of your best players due to fatigue and injury, where it could just derail the next couple of. And I mean, especially for Arsenal still have the Champions League, Liverpool still have the Europa League.
Yeah.
Where do you rank the FA Cup for them?
Well, you know what I was going to say is that if this was an FA Cup final, or if this was like a higher stakes game for both these teams, it would be a little bit different. Like, they might prioritize it a little bit more. They might say, we want to win this, tournament. We want to win this competition. It's a big opponent, like whatever. But it's pretty early on in the season. Like, it just turned January. We barely hit January.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's a high priority game at this point in the season for both those teams.
For either of them, yeah, I would agree. I mean, obviously they're going to go into that wanting to beat a rival.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And if you think about it, if it ends in a draw, because I don't know why, but this feels like it could be another 1-1 draw, like the last time those two teams played, they would have to play each other again. They would have to replay, and that just adds to the fatigue and the schedule of fixtures. It's a lot. So I think both of those teams are going to want to go into it to win, but at the same time, I think if you're looking at it from a winner's mentality standpoint, if you can take out a Premier League rival, whether it's either of them, like Arsenal looking at Liverpool, like if we can knock them out, going forward, there's going to be less top teams that we're going to have to worry about getting drawn up against.
Well, I was just going to say that, like, if you're one of those, championship teams or even just, lower level teams, and you end up beating somebody, like if Sunderland were to take down Newcastle, or, there was a big upset in one of these games, like Huddersfield took down Man City.
Oh.
Like, can you imagine the pride you must feel after that game to do that? Like, that just, for me, that's what it's all about. And
that's the magic of the FA Cup.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
That's why they play it. You got these fourth tier teams, like Wrexham, making a run in it. Who do they play? We were just looking at it. That would be pretty cool if they can make a run. I think I haven't really been. I know that they're in third place in the third tier.
Yep.
Fourth tier. Sorry.
I still haven't seen that documentary. Is it or show?
It's a show.
Yeah.
I've seen some. My roommate watches it.
Yeah.
With his girlfriend, and I've seen a couple episodes. But those two owners, Ryan Reynolds and Rob McKinley, like those are guys I would want to own my team.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like if I played for a team, I want my owners to be like them because it's not just that they're funny and they're charismatic, but they genuinely like put passion and pride into what they're investing in.
They care.
Yeah, and it shows in the interactions that they have with their players and their staff. I mean, it's something, man. So yeah, hopefully Sunderland and hopefully Wrexham can go on an FA Cup run.
I'd like to see that for sure.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Wrexham for the win, man.
Quick update though for Spurs. We're in the 64th minute, still 0-0 against Burnley.
Well,
but no Heung-min Son.
Yeah,
so
they've lost a lot of guys. So.
Yeah, no Son, no Romero, no Madison.
Speaking of Tottenham, though, maybe we can get into some of this after the break, but some of their transfer targets.
No, I said we get into it now.
Transfer wish list. We can get into some of that now, but a few guys we've been talking about for a while. Well, we talked about a few weeks ago, but any that stand out to you? I know we talked about a little bit off camera.
My go-to guy that Tottenham should try to sign, and I don't know where they're at in terms of their progression of actually getting a deal done, but Jean-Claire Todibo from Nice, 23-year-old Frenchman. This is old data. I don't know how many games he's played since then. This is from like 2 weeks ago, but he's averaged a 7.2 in League One on SofaScore, and he's just fun to watch. He's a I have him put down as a ball-playing center back with excellent vision, physicality, and pace. I mean, that's exactly what you want. That's like if you take Romero and Van de Ven and just put them into the same player.
100%.
Mash them together.
No, that'd be a great signing for them. I feel like for the last few days, last week maybe, I've heard that they're like approaching a deal or they're close to talking. Like I just want them to get something done. There's still time. There's still time, but.
Well, the thing for Nice is they're flying high in League One right now.
I'm sure they don't want to give up.
They're in second place. Yeah, they're in second place. Why would they get rid of one of their better defenders? I mean, they've got some guys. Yeah, it's true.
Money.
But that's the thing. They've got depth. Yeah, if they want to flip a profit, they've got depth at the center back. They've got Dante. They've got, where is he? Atal.
Yeah.
And Latomba, that Swiss guy.
That's something I always struggle to understand is teams that are like top of their league, second in their league, and they still end up, sending away one of their best players, one of their top guys. I mean, I know it's obviously for money.
Yeah.
But I just can't imagine, being a fan of that team. We might win the league this year. We might go to the Champions League. But then one of your guys he just leaves. He's gone because he wants to go to the Premier League to win more games, get more playing time, whatever the case.
Yeah, I don't know if he necessarily wants to go to the Premier League. I'm sure he would be open to it.
Yeah.
But from a Tottenham perspective, we need center backs.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
And he would be a great depth signing.
Oh, he'd fit perfectly.
But the more recent news is that they're pursuing, Romanian. The Romanian 21-year-old from Geneva, Radu Dragusin. He can play anywhere on the back line. Strong tackler, pretty quick. But he's still, like I said, 21 years old, still young. I think he's a guy that if you were to sign him over Tobito, or Tobito, yeah. I always mix it up.
Todibo.
But if you sign him, you don't need to force feed him minutes.
Yeah. 100%.
I mean, he can come in.
He's 21.
He can come in, and because we were talking about before the show started that when Van de Ven comes back, they're going to ease him in. They're not just going to throw him in and expect him to play 90 minutes every game. A guy like Dragusin is perfect for easing Van de Ven back in because
100%.
He's still young. He's got plenty of energy to fly around, but he'll be able to learn under those guys of Van de Ven and Romero. I mean, Van de Ven's still young too, but you wouldn't think that the way he plays. He's just so calm and collected the way he glides around that back line. But that would be a really fun signing, I think, because, I mean, we just need some youth at that back position.
Well, not to mention, it's a long season. And obviously you've seen this year, Van de Ven's out. Romero's been kind of in and out with injuries and suspensions and whatnot. And Emerson Royale has been playing center back, So, if you're Dragusin and you want playing time, you're 21, you're a young guy, you're going to get minutes. You're going to get your shot. They're not going to be playing Van de Ven religiously as when he comes back. You're going to get you're going to get your chance.
Yeah.
And having that depth on the back line, wherever he can play, he says he can play left back, right back, center back. I'm sure he could even get minutes, I mean, maybe not minutes in the midfield, but it says he's
He could probably play anywhere. He's probably
acceleration,
he seems to me like kind of like a Joshua Kimmich.
Yeah.
But more defensive than a midfielder. Obviously, Kimmich made his. If you need Kimmich to play anywhere on the back line, he will do it.
Yeah, he can.
He's a midfielder by trade, but you can put him anywhere on that back line.
Yeah.
And obviously, Dragusin's bigger and more physical, but having that versatility on your squad
exactly
is
it's
what you
perfect
need.
Depth player to have, who is also going to bring you some quality as a defender. So I think that's a good. I would like to see him.
And he'd be cheaper.
Exactly, and
He'd be cheaper. So the rumor is right around 30 million. That's what Genia's asking for. I don't know what Nice are asking for Jean-Claire, but it's going to be more than 30. It's probably going to be.
I'm sure
north of 50.
They just keep bringing it up as the days go longer. So
if I had to guess, I'm going to say 50 or 60 for Jean-Claire.
I would agree. I would like to see either of them.
Dragusin would be a bargain.
Yeah, that would be a real bargain.
And then last but not least, someone that we've talked about a lot on the show, Arthur Vermeeren. 18-year-old Belgian midfielder, averaging a 7 in the Belgian league and a 7.25 in the Champions League. I mean, he went up against, he plays for Antwerp.
Barcelona.
They went up against Barcelona, Porto. I can't think of the other team.
There was another one. I don't remember. But
still.
Some good quality in that.
He played in all 6 of those Champions League games, average of 7.25.
18-year-old, man.
Yeah, and he's 18 years old. I mean, he's been linked to Spurs, but the problem is he's under contract until 2026.
Well, another thing, too, is that we talked about it before, about people that are leaving Tottenham, people that might want to stay, and about Højbjerg. Would you want to trade? Would you want to see Højbjerg leave if Vermeeren came into the team? Because it's a different style of play.
It is.
Højbjerg's defender, mostly. He's a good defending presence. He can get forward. He can do a lot of stuff. But Vermeeren is 18. He's. What do you think about that?
I mean, I know a lot of people think Højbjerg is going to go. He's not getting the minutes. Even today, Skip started over him.
Yeah.
But I think he's just too important of depth. Because when he's came on late in the games, subbed on in the 70th, 75th minute, where we need to hold the lead and just kind of see it out, he's looked so smooth and calm. I mean, he's not the best passer and creative player, but He will mark his man, and he will run them down. He will slide tackle. He will, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a physical midfielder, and you need that on your team. And obviously for him, he wants to be getting starting minutes. Ange Ball just doesn't work that way. Ange Ball doesn't really rely too heavily on a pure defensive midfielder, whereas Basuma has been playing that role, but he has freedom to roam around and kind of be a supportive defensive midfielder higher up.
Yeah.
I think Højbjerg could thrive at a place like Atletico Madrid, and I think that's who is keen on signing him.
Yeah.
But
Very
if you're
defensive
Tottenham, you got to do whatever you can to keep Højbjerg.
100%. And that's something I questioned at the very beginning of the year when Ange was like passing him up for Basuma and Sarr. I was like, obviously there's a reason for that, you know. And maybe again it's because he's not that he doesn't have the biggest attacking presence. He's more of a defender. He's more of a presence in the back line. But there's a reason that he's not starting every game, not in the game, you know, most of the time. And it sucks for him.
Yeah, you got to feel for him.
You got to feel for him.
Because when he came in, he was one of the most consistent players for us. We signed him out of Southampton, and he found a home in North London.
He's played for how many managers now? It feels like
he's
been there for a long
since
time.
He's been there since Poach.
Yeah, so he's
right?
been through 4 managers now, 3 managers, something like that.
Yeah, he was there for Poach's last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see Vermeeren, obviously, but we're gonna have to wait till 2026.
Yeah,
he's still under contract
we
for
will
them.
see for them.
I mean, that's only 2.5 years away.
Yeah,
now.
that's true.
Now we're in
That's crazy.
2024.
Crazy.
All right.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to all you Footy Friday listeners. We're going to take a quick break, but out of the break, we're going to talk some MLS, some FIFA tactics,
Ooh.
and we got a new segment
New
coming.
segment.
So-
Excited for that one.
Yeah, stay tuned. Don't go anywhere on Footy Fridays.
Such a maniac, fucking maniac, fucking maniacs. We hit the big time, yeah. Such a maniac, fucking maniac, fucking maniacs. The city of night, the city of fools, children fools, let your eyes close. The city of night, the city of fools, children fools, let your eyes close.
I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing it stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag or run away quickly. Crunch time, my time's not to be wasted. Win, lose, draw, I am not playing. In my lane, out the way is the safest. Be consistent, there's no credit in phases. Keep on working, we gon' see where it takes us. Life's a marathon, why aren't you pacing? All that sprinting, taking too many breaks is compromising your position, advancing. Real life, you get so many chances. You can't leave trying to find out the answers. We've been moving around without GPSs. We've been growing without all them enhancements. Learn quick, out here making connections. Everybody don't do what they be saying. That's why my team's who I spend day to day with. It's on us when I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing it stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag or run away quickly. Trying to get rich, but they dying to 50. Ducking these trends, I don't like what I'm seeing. They jumped the fence, but the grass wasn't greener. No one warned them about the wolves and hyenas. Eggshells, gotta watch how you treat us. Shaking hands, a part of doing business. Make a promise, make sure that you deliver. Good business, only way it continues. Money matters and you need the credentials. Coming straight up, Arbors gon' bring issues. My time is prices, don't like to misuse it. And it only you can't have, do it. If we started, we gon' see it through. Can't just talk, you gotta show the proof. My interest is making these money moves. Not running my mouth and not coming through. Let's run up the bag, I need something new. I'm high on the bills, I want them blue. You want me to work, I'ma need it soon. They all in the way, we gon' need some room. Locked in and focused like missiles on cruise. Going non-stop, I got something to prove. Playing with us, you gon' definitely.
All right, welcome back after that quick break with Footy Fridays, presented by 22 West Radio. And we're going to talk MLS. I know the season's over, but we've had some news recently with within the MLS and the Mexican League.
Still some stuff happening, man. It's pretty interesting MLS offseason. It's one of those. I don't know how to feel about it at this point. You know.
Yeah, I mean, the other day I was with Jerry, and it felt like 2 minutes he's getting notifications on his Apple Watch being like, oh, somebody just moved from San Jose to LAFC or vice versa.
Always movement.
But the one I want to talk about is Hugo Lloris.
Wow.
11-year vet for Spurs signing with LAFC. It was time for him to go. He just wasn't getting any minutes.
I remember seeing a clip of him just watching the Tottenham game, like not even from the sideline, like he was in the press box, or something, just like in his
In his
coat.
suit with his
I was like,
family.
man, that's so sad. But I mean, he's a legend, man. He's a Tottenham.
He's a Spurs legend.
I feel like he's been there since I started following Tottenham, since I started being a Tottenham fan. Like he's been
He's
been
a
the
World
guy.
Cup winner.
He's been the guy. Yeah.
He won a World Cup for France in 2018.
Yeah. That's
But
what I said off camera. I was like,
yeah.
A year ago he was in the World Cup final for France.
Yeah, and even before that, I mean, he was on those Tottenham teams with Harry Kane, Moussa Dembele, Christian Eriksen.
Prime Tottenham back then.
Prime Tottenham. Talk about a team, man. But yeah, 1 year, $350,000. That's a bargain.
That is a bargain.
I wonder how much playing time he's going to get. Do you think it's going to be like more of like a sporadic appearances, or do you think he's going to be like their number one?
I think he might be their number one. I don't know much about their goalkeeper at the moment. But I mean, obviously they signed him for a good reason. Like I think he still has some stuff left in the tank. Maybe not at the highest level.
Yeah.
But I think he can still do some good at LAFC. And I'm excited to see him just
in general.
Yeah, just in general. I might have to catch an LAFC game, get one of those seats right behind the goal.
Yeah.
Start yelling at him like.
Just hit up Jerry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But no, I'm excited for him to. I mean, not excited for him to leave Tottenham, but it's good for him to go somewhere where he's gonna get playing time.
Breath of fresh air.
Exactly.
Pedro Porro.
Scored?
Pedro Porro, 1-0 Spurs, baby.
That's what I'm talking about. I told you that earlier. I was like, he just takes shots, man.
You were
He just
right. You
takes
called
shots.
that.
Yeah,
You
I was
like
he just
that's
takes
what
shots,
we were
man.
saying. So I feel like kind of going off topic here. I feel like Tottenham have an issue where they try to be too cute and they play too many passes. And Desi says, you know what? We just need guys to play like Pedro Porro, where if he's got space, he's gonna shoot.
Take shots, man.
And that's exactly what he just did. Up the Spurs, baby.
No, that's what I'm
But yeah,
talking
going
about.
back to Mexico and MLS. What's the big topic that people are discussing
courtesy
right
of Carlos here, he gave us this information earlier the other day.
It was a banger.
Chicharito.
So good.
We definitely called this, right?
We did call it.
I remember us
We
saying,
talked about it.
We talked about this a few weeks ago. But
We did. It was like episode 2 or 3.
Yeah, exactly. Chicharito and Chivas are in agreement. Negotiations are currently in the works, so it's going to happen, but it just might take a little while. But he said yes. He's going to Chivas, hometown club. I mean, did we say that was a perfect fit before when we were talking about
did.
it?
I think it was Beto who disagreed. He
Yeah,
said
he
we
was
don't,
like,
because
we don't
Beto said they should just rely on developing some youth players, letting them get minutes, which
That's
I
fair,
fully
that's
agree
fair,
with.
Yeah, I agree.
But he's a club legend
Yeah,
already.
you can't say no to that.
I think it's
You
the
can't say
perfect
that.
homecoming, the perfect time, and I think he can help. If anything, he will help those young guys develop into how to maintain a season-long journey.
I was also going to say, before his ACL injury last year, he was pretty solid for LA Galaxy. So he's still a quality player.
How old is he?
Especially I think he's 35.
35, yeah.
So he's still a solid player, and I'm pretty sure he could help them out a lot. And like you said, with the young guys, I think it's a good fit for him. Hometown club, go Chivas.
Chiva.
Shout out to Beto.
And then I see they just got a new manager.
Yeah.
They just appointed a new manager. And, it's funny because I'll have to ask my good buddy from the restaurant, Miguel, who's a Chivas fan. I feel like for the last, this last season of Mexican League, he always talks about, I don't like this coach. This coach, new guy, not a fan. And so he was probably stoked that he's out. They appointed the new guy.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
But, yeah, hopefully Chicharito gets back to the top of his level. He's just fun to watch, man.
I agree.
I mean, when I was a kid, Chicharito I thought was going to be the next big thing.
Yeah, man. That's when he was at Man United for that period of time.
So what's his contract? Oh, so I see here it's a 3-year deal for Chicharito.
Yeah.
So far, there hasn't really been too much talk into that. They just think probably by the end of this weekend or by Monday of next week, they'll have everything under control. But what I have on the notes is actually what Galaxy paid him. And then they were saying how if he's asking for that same amount of money at Chivas, they might not give that to him because he's not worth that at this moment because he's coming back from ACL. He's 35 years old, and he's like even Gignac from Tigres, and he doesn't make that type of money with them. And Chicharito's asking if he does
For like
ask for
triple that.
he's not gonna get that because he's not in his prime anymore.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's grinding. It looks like if you guys have seen him on Instagram, it looks like he's grinding on the rehab. But there's a difference between him going hard at like training and rehab, and then playing hard and giving it all when he's actually on the field.
Yeah.
With the other players.
I was gonna say though, I can't imagine them saying no to him. You know, like, can you imagine bringing him, like, Mexico's leading scorer, like, back to his hometown city? You know, his home city.
Just to say no.
Just to be like, nah.
But if you're him, I mean, I'm not a professional athlete. If I were in his shoes, I would take a pay cut. And I think a lot of people would. I mean, it's just, you can't, how do I put this? You can't put a price on passion. And if he really is passionate about, like, I don't know, is he like, how does he associate with Chivas? Like, is that like, does he look back at his time at Chivas as like
That's a good question.
the kickstart of his career? Or is it more like, that's just where I got my
That's where he
feet
started.
going?
Yeah.
But like, what does it mean to him? Because if I were him, that's what you got to look at that. Like, if you look at that club, like, this is the club that gave me an opportunity to become who I am now. I can only repay them by taking a pay cut. That's how I
100%.
see it.
Yeah, especially where he's at in his career now.
Mhm.
Like, if it was earlier in his career, he was in his prime, he was, you know, a little bit younger. Like, I'm sure he'd be more interested in the money, and he'd be like, oh, I don't want to get paid. I want to get paid for how I'm gonna play. But at this point, he's like, you know, he's a little bit older, and he still has some stuff left to give any team that he signs with. I think I would take the pay cut.
Yeah, why
To
not?
play for my hometown team. Like,
Yeah.
I
mean,
can
it's
see
just,
that happening.
he's still gonna make millions of dollars. And
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
Carlos said, Guignac's only making what, like $3 million a year,
Yeah.
roughly, something around that.
But
I mean,
I'm sure he's made a significant amount of money playing in the MLS.
Oh,
for
yeah.
the LA Galaxy and everywhere else he's been in his career. So
and then
Interesting stuff for
there's
him.
another player that Chivas are rumored to sign, Cade Cowell.
really,
Well, that's what Carlos added. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, Cade Cowell. I think he's 20 years old now.
He is
came
young.
Yeah, because I think Bayern and then the MLS was looking into him when he was just 17 or 16 years of age, because he was that good at such a young age.
and double nationality too. He's from he's both Mexican and American.
But he plays for USA, right?
But
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he plays for USA.
Right now he plays for the San Jose Earthquakes in
That's right.
the MLS, but they're looking into maybe he goes to Chivas because he's a winger and they need a winger, same as Chicharito, he plays as a center forward, and Chivas needs that because since Alan Pulido left to go to Kansas City in MLS, they haven't really filled that role with like a good proper player for Chivas, and maybe Chicharito will bring that, maybe not. It depends on how his recovery goes and once he gets used to his new team.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to ask about, because I saw there's a tournament coming up for USA, right? A Team USA national tournament. And it's mostly, I saw the roster, and it's all MLS players.
On Team USA.
Yeah, it was like some sort of cup match. Or, I don't know what the tournament is. I'd have to find, BR Football posted it.
Is it like a
I don't know what tournament it is. It's I'm losing it. I can't think of it.
like the League
But-
of Nations or something like that?
No, it's kind of similar to that, but here it is. January roster. Well, they play Slovenia on January 20th. I think it's just a couple of friendly games, but they're not. Every single player on this roster plays on an MLS team.
That's
Yes,
interesting.
January Kemp. Roster released. See if there's a post on Bleacher Report, maybe.
Well, could it have been like
Nonetheless,
the-
I think that's great.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people will look at that like, oh, they're throwing out a bunch of MLS players. They're not going to do anything.
Yeah,
Like,
but
where are
like-
the guys playing in Europe?
I don't know, man.
But how else are they going to improve?
Yeah,
You know what I
how
mean?
else
Like,
they
if
gonna get
if the USA is going to continue trending upward
yeah,
as a football playing country, that's how you got to do it. This is what we have. We have MLS teams. Are they great? No. But you got to start somewhere.
you do.
So I think it's great that they're all.
I agree.
I mean, is there anyone on this list that?
I mean, when you think about all the people too that aren't in the MLS that are American.
Mhm.
You know, like the top guys that
Pulisic,
Are the best
Musa,
players.
Turner,
so,
Tyler Adams, who's
there
hurt
you
right
go,
now
there you
for
go.
Bournemouth, and then
Balogun. I don't know what
Florian
his situation
Balogun?
is. Yeah.
well,
what his
he's
situation
playing,
is.
right?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know.
He hasn't gotten a lot of playing time.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
think.
know how
'Cause
well he's doing at Monaco.
Yeah,
But,
that's a good question.
but yeah, those are all the guys that you think of when you think of the national team. But I still think there's some quality in the MLS.
Oh, definitely.
So I think it's a very good idea to have that be just American players playing in that tournament. Again, I'm wondering what the tournament is, or like what the specifics of it are.
I think they're all just friendlies.
Are they just friendlies?
They're just friendlies,
Okay, yeah. That's just making your team better at that point.
yeah. Balogun, 4 goals and 3 assists in 14 matches.
Not bad. Not
That's
bad.
pretty good. And that's just
Similar
in
to-
League One.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah, Monaco are in 3rd place.
pretty good.
Good
Pretty
for them, because weren't they in a relegation battle last year?
Yeah, they've been
Speaking of relegation
Interesting.
battle, I think that's a good segue
yeah,
into our
good
new
segue
segment.
into,
We have a new segment. The name is pending. We're just going to stick with up or down.
I like it.
Up or
I like
down, flip flop.
it. Yeah.
Basically, we're going to look at teams across Europe. Maybe like every other episode. It's not going to be a weekly thing, but every few episodes. We're going to look at teams fighting for promotion or teams fighting to stay out of the relegation zone, and whether they're staying up or down. So let's get right into it. So this week we're going to do relegation. We're going to talk about teams that are fighting to avoid relegation, and I'm just going to start naming teams and just give me your rapid thoughts.
All right.
So let's start with Luton Town.
So Luton, I have been surprised by their grit so far this year. I
Mhm.
mean, they're still obviously in the relegation zone. They have 15 points, but they're a lot better than I thought they would be. And I think, oh man, it's tough to say because I'm looking at the table right now. They're 1 point behind Everton.
But they have a game in hand.
They have exactly.
They have a game in
That's
hand.
true. They have a game in hand. But
They can score
they're still
goals.
teetering on that bottom zone. I think Sheffield's. I mean, they're sitting on 9 points. I think they might be done. I think they might be going down.
Here's the way I
Sorry,
see the
don't know if
Premier
that's-
League.
I don't know if that's on the.
Well, here's how I
docket
see
for
the
you.
Premier League. I see Burnley and Sheffield going down, unless Burnley absolutely turn it around under Vincent Kompany.
Yeah.
But that last spot, I mean, there's Luton, and then so let me talk about Luton because people don't. I mean, they've given up 37 goals, but they've scored 23.
Yeah. So their
You know, that's
attacking presence is pretty.
that's
pretty
more goals
solid.
than Man United.
Yeah.
They've scored more goals in the Premier League than Man United
Wow.
by 1, albeit
That's
it's
a
only
stat
1
right
goal.
there. That is a stat right
But
there.
yeah, they have 23 goals. Man United only have 22. So does Crystal Palace.
Know Shout out to all the Man United
Yeah.
fans out there. Wow, that's crazy.
Beto, if you're listening in Cuba,
Just
just know that your team scores less goals than Luton Town.
time to focus on the Raiders.
I think Luton stay up.
I
I'm
agree.
going to have a bold take. I think they stay up. They're a fun team. I think everyone's rooting for them, and I think their squad is not as lackluster as people realize. I mean, Ross Barkley, Andrews Townsend, these are guys that have played in the Premier League before.
Oh yeah.
Impanzu is a great midfielder that people don't give enough recognition to.
Well, that begs the question though. If Luton stay up, and you said obviously Sheffield and Burnley are going down, that leaves one relegation spot.
It's between
for
Everton and Forest.
Everton, Brentford. Oh wait.
Well, Brentford too.
Yeah, Everton, Brentford. Brentford are 5 losses in a row. That's not.
Yeah,
not
so,
good.
well, the next on my list is Everton. I
Yeah.
think they stay up.
Man, that 10-point reduction for them.
That's the only reason they're in the. That's the only reason they're down there. So I think they stay up. They're playing fine. Their form has been They had a really good month of December. They were in form.
I think if they survive relegation again, I think this is the 3rd year in a row that they'll be fighting relegation. 'Cause
Yeah.
They fought relegation the past 2 years and they've just barely made it.
So yeah, that brings me to Nottingham Forest, and I think I think they are gonna be the ones to go down. And it pains me to say because they've got a nice team.
I do.
I mean, compared to Brentford too. Brentford are also in that zone. Brentford also have a game in hand. And they're in 16th, 4 points clear of Luton. If they win that game in hand, they'll be 8 points clear, 7 points clear. So, assuming they handle business, although they do have to play Man City, so they might not win that game in hand.
Yeah.
My guess is Nottingham. I think
Nottingham's
Nottingham.
gonna go down. Wow,
I think they do.
They won their last 2, sitting 15th currently.
Yeah, they have won their last 2.
Yeah.
And
so
Brentford are the one that have lost 5 straight. That's tough.
It's all about this next. I don't know, this next month of play to start the January games.
Well, let's go from England to Spain. There's a couple of teams that we're used to seeing near the top of the table that find themselves at the bottom. Sevilla.
Wow.
Who would have thought Sevilla would be in a relegation battle?
I remember them struggling. Was it last year that they struggled too, right?
Yeah.
They finished.
They were in like 18th at one
they
point.
finished bottom of the table, but they're sitting 16th right now. I mean,
They're only 1 point ahead of
Celta Vigo.
Cadiz. Oh, yeah, Celta Vigo.
or they're tied with Celta Vigo at the moment.
That's the other team that I have
that's
on
the
this
other team,
list.
yeah.
So between Celta Vigo and Sevilla, do you think they both stay up? Do you think one of them goes down? Do they both go down?
I don't know what happened to Sevilla. I mean, it has to be studied what
has to
their
be
downfall, but I don't know, man. I've always thought that they're such a like they're hard, it's hard for them to be lackluster. Like they always have quality players that like they never seem to leave. Like they always bring in new guys who are always quality, and they never seem to like have a really bad year or bad stretch of games.
They don't have any superstars, and when they do that, like come from their youth system and develop,
They're gone.
they transfer. They
They're
send them out.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. But
Yeah. I mean, if I had to guess, I think Sevilla get it done. I think they're just too experienced and talented to let it happen. And I mean, looking at the teams around them, like Alaves, Mallorca, Cadiz, Granada, they're better than all those teams.
Oh, 100%.
They've only allowed 27 goals, which if you look at all the teams around,
that's-
there's teams ahead of them that have allowed 38, 29. I mean, it's just they're not scoring enough goals.
No, they're not at all. And like I'm looking at their entire squad right now, and some of their top goal scorers.
Is Lamela up there?
Lamela, yeah, I'm pretty sure he has 2 goals on the season.
Oh, yikes.
You saw that? I saw a clip of Sergio Ramos like yelling at screaming at some fans or something. Maybe it's just the city or not the city or the culture. I don't know. I feel like I say that a lot about teams, and when they have problems, it's just the culture. But they've had some injuries too. Marcos Acuna's injured at the moment, but
Yeah, they've got some fullbacks, Acuna and
Yeah.
Montiel.
I feel like-
Montiel's still there, right?
no, he's not. He's at Nottingham Forest.
That's right.
He-
That's
yeah,
one of
he's
those
at Nottingham
players that went out
He's
to
gone.
Forest.
Yep. Eric Lamelo's injured at the moment. They still have quality. I'm looking at their squad.
I think they
Rakitic,
stay up.
Sao or Sao, something like that. I know he's quality from Switzerland.
Who's their manager?
It's
Is it Lupe?
Quique Sanchez Flores.
I thought it
So
was.
I could have thought I remembered him being a.
It used to be
being a
Lupe
different
Tuigi,
manager.
I think his name was,
That's
the
right.
guy that was the Spain manager. But
right.
yeah, Celta Vigo, I also think they stay up. And I solely am saying this based off of Iago Aspas. I think Iago Aspas will put Celta Vigo on his back and keep him in La
I
Liga.
feel like he's done that for.
He's done it so many times,
yeah.
and he's going to do it again this year. I mean, I know he's getting old, but
No,
it's
he's-
just, it feels like, I think they're going to do just enough to stay
stay above.
in
this.
17th or 16th or 17th.
Oh yeah.
Because the teams below them, they're bad. It's just a matter of if Celta Vigo can figure it out themselves. But they did just have a huge win against Real Betis.
I
They
just
were
wanna-
in relegation zone. Their last win against Betis put
wanna look
them from 19th to 17th.
I want to look to see if Sevilla and Celta Vigo play each other in a big matchup.
Yeah, 'cause that'd
down
be
the
a big one.
Down the stretch.
That'll be a big one.
Um,
While you look into that, we've got 2 more on this list. One of them is more surprising than the other, but we'll start with the other one. Union Berlin.
they do play.
They
March
do?
17th.
Oh, so that's coming up.
So yeah, that's
Well,
for a few
3
months,
months.
2 months, yeah. But they play that'll be a big matchup. I mean, obviously considering assuming that they, continue their stretch of games where they're not too quality.
What about Union Berlin? Because they finished in 4th place last year in the Bundesliga, finished in a Champions League spot. They got knocked out of the Champions League. They've had a rough start to this season in the Bundesliga. They're sitting in 15th. There's only 18 teams in the Bundesliga.
Oh man, they've only scored 17 goals.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. And they've
4
won
wins,
31.
1 draw, and they're just not drawing games. A lot of these losses are, if they can scrape away a couple draws out of those 10 losses, like if half of those are draws.
I think the Bundesliga is always like, it seems to me that the Bundesliga is always competitive.
It is always
So, like,
competitive.
It's different when it's a league like, I don't know, the Ligue 1, the French league. I feel like teams go up and down a lot,
Mhm.
and there's some fluctuation. But I always see the same types of teams in the Bundesliga. They're never really, you see teams go up and down, but like, they never really stay too long. I feel like, in my opinion.
No, I agree. I would like to see Berlin stay up.
I agree.
They do have a game in hand, so if they win, they can be tied for 14th. So,
Man, only one draw in the season for them. So
yeah.
They're losing a lot of games, 10 losses.
You know
on the
what?
season.
Just based off of that, I love my Berlin, my Union. I like this team. They've got a bunch of fun players on this team. Let me pull up the squad. But I unfortunately
think they're going to go down.
Yeah, I mean, just the fact that if they can start winning those games, if they can stop losing and start stringing together draws
Just one
and not
point,
letting the
like,
games fall apart.
Yeah.
But they've got Roussillon, who's a good left back, Doki, good center back for the Netherlands,
Right.
and then Gosens, Brennan Aronson, he's on loan
Oh,
there,
that's right.
and then Kevin Volland. Like there's players on this team.
Kevin Volland's on. Is he
Yeah,
on Berlin?
but Leonardo Bonucci.
That's right.
There's
that's right.
players on this
Bonucci's there,
Berlin
yeah.
team. You'd think that would be enough to get it, but until they start stringing together some positive results, I don't see it
I
happening.
just think they need to score goals.
Yeah, they got to
17
score goals.
is really. I mean, when you look at the other relegation teams, 10 goals, 13 goals, like
But a team like Union Berlin, who qualified for the Champions last year, they
Yeah.
got to be in a better position.
they have to be in
But
a better position.
we're running out of time. We're going to have to skip out on one of our segments and save it for next week, but that's not a big deal at all. But last but not least, kind of the biggest surprise of teams that are fighting relegation, Lyon in the French league.
Man,
Do they pull it off?
I've always liked their team. I've always liked their. I feel like they're always competitive too, but I think they pull it off. I can see them. I don't know exactly where they sit at the moment.
They're in 15th out of 18. They're sitting 2 points ahead of
They won
Toulouse.
their last 3 games. You know what? I see them hitting. Maybe not cracking top 10, but I see them approaching the top 10, maybe like 12th, 11th. I think they go on a run.
Yeah,
I think they go on a run because I
I can
know that
see it.
they're.
Well,
they're-
the French league is not very strong,
Yeah.
and we know this.
Yeah.
It's PSG, and then there's the rest of the league.
Yeah. that's
So,
true.
but yeah, we've had a lot to talk about on this Footy
Yeah,
Friday.
no.
But it's good to be back.
More consistent Fridays from now on, hopefully too.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shows more.
Now that the semester's 2 weeks away,
Yeah, ramping up.
we're gonna be back every Friday starting then. So
Full
yeah,
swing.
I'm excited.
I'm
We got a
excited too.
lot. It's gonna be a fun. We're gonna talk Champions League. We're gonna talk transfer window. We got Euros coming up in 2024
Yeah.
or this summer.
Yeah.
It's gonna be exciting.
Transfer
So
window closes end of January. So
yeah,
a few weeks we'll be into some heated transfer talks.
certainly. Well, we want to thank all you guys for tuning in to this. What is it? Episode 10? I think episode 10
Yeah.
of Footy Fridays.
I think it is.
Join us with Zach, Desi, and Carlos. Up next, we have dunk discussions with Elmira and Dan the Man McMahon. So stay tuned. You're listening to the Sports Slate on 22 West Radio. Thank you very much, guys.
I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing it stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag, I run away quickly. Crunch time, my time's not to be wasted. Win, lose, draw, I am not playing. In my lane, out the way is the safest. Be consistent, there's no credit in phases. Keep on working, we gon' see where it takes us. Life's a marathon, why aren't you pacing? All that sprinting, taking too many breaks is compromising your position, advancing. Real life, you get so many chances. You can't leave trying to find out the answers. We've been moving around without GPSs. We've been growing without all them enhancements. Learn quick, out here making connections. Everybody don't do what they be saying. That's why my team's who I spend day to day with. It's on us when I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing it stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag, I run away quickly. Trying to get rich, but they dying to 50. Ducking these trends, I don't like what I'm seeing. They jumped the fence, but the grass wasn't greener. No one warned them about the wolves and hyenas. Eggshells, gotta watch how you treat us. Shaking hands, a part of doing business. Make a promise, make sure that you deliver. Good business, only way it continues. Money matters and you need the credentials. Coming straight up, barbers gon' bring issues. My time is prices, don't like to misuse it. And it only you can't have, do it. If we we started, we gon' see it through. Can't just talk, you gotta show the proof. My interest is making these money moves, not running my mouth and not coming through. Let's run up the bag, I need something new. I'm high on the bills, I want them blue. You want me to work, I'ma need it soon. They all in the way, we gon' need some room. Locked in and focused like missiles on cruise. Going non-stop, I got something to prove. Playing with us, you gon' definitely lose. Never slow down, cause I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing, it's stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions.